Boom. Hi, YouTube. Welcome. Second Wake, episode 36. Ooh. We have some new faces on screen. Don't worry about them. They won't look at you if you don't look at them. Simple as that. One of them is a time wizard and is frozen in place, but don't worry about that. We'll get to that later. Ooh. No, they're not. Now they're magically gone.
You know that
Yeah,
move down wasn't
it
terrible.
actually wasn't bad. So we'll keep everyone there for now. That's Hollywood. We don't make pictures. We make magic and miracles, right? Is that what they say? I don't really know. So yes, when we last left for Second Wake 2 weeks ago, 2 whole weeks ago. Oh my God, it's been forever. The group, our Seekers of Galanti, did battle just south of the large river, heading eastward from Lake Loria, with a group of lizard folks, individuals that were possessed of a reason and a purpose to seek out the tree known as the Elder Oak, an ancient and standing forested place of which they said that the sap would heal what ails their people from far away. The group had surmised that the lizard folk were far from the Great Falls and had traveled in great mass and number to arrive here, only to be rebuffed by the defenses of the Elder Oak itself, and most likely the people emanating out of Flitwick Forest. Hearing this and coming to a consensus at the betterment of their satyr friend, the group did battle, slew, and defeated the lizard folk contingent, all 15 remaining members of their squad that had ventured this far out. Coming to find out that the ritual that they had enacted, the various magical rituals and chants that they had performed had allowed an ancient spirit, a assumed power of vengeance that was beholden to the lizard folk themselves, was now on its way through the fire and through the flames. Hey, look, we're getting back. We got people popping in. Sensing that they did not have adequately the tools to handle this themselves, the group reached out to a rather useful companion, maybe the best companion in the game. As chat will say on Twitch, YouTube. You don't know about chat on Twitch. They're good people. They are a certain person they would call Dr. Vasler. Vasler being a small, reddish, impish demon of questionable origin and area, who very, very well decided that they could enact ancient rituals and beings that would see to it that this fire would be consumed and they would regain and re-pull this coming doom into themselves for a small agreement with JJ Lightning herself, with their current pending deal. So yes, having swept through the area, collecting what goods they could, they returned to the boat, the Snake, under the banner of Captain Colt Honeycutt, heading further still and arriving in Fort Osen, where they were greeted by a small night watchman of elven origins, who then led them to the shanty towns under the care and guidance and defense of a member of the Fort Osen Guard. And the group were able, or rather given, the opportunity to rest up and begin to plan, rethink, and hopefully come into contact with their request from their Lady Galanti many episodes ago, a Miss Agatha, through which they know very seldom and very little, other than their residing within Fort Osen. And that is where we'll pick up for tonight. So, with that being said, Weaver's Chosen, the Seekers of Lady Galanti, you have arrived in Fort Osen. You have completed a long rest. You may mark your character sheets with a long rest. You recover all spells, your hit points, half of your missing hit dice. I don't know what else. Any special abilities or traits are all reset as you complete this long rest after a hard day fought. As many of you begin to arise, awaken, and come to, you look and you can see in the doorway of the small shanty building the horned visage of your compatriot, your fellow Weaver's Chosen and Seeker of Galanti, Bucky. And he kind of turns and looks over his shoulder. You hear, sorry guys, I didn't mean to wake anyone up. I just had a long night to think about what happened yesterday, and I think this is it for me. I think in my excitement to leave the Grove and to leave the Elder Oak, I left it defenseless, and I didn't realize that people would come for it in such a thing, and I couldn't shake the feeling that had we not happened to stumble upon that group, what could have happened to my people, the Oak, everything. I know I've been coy with where I'm able to do these things, but I truly do feel that this business cult, the steam fields, it's all a lot right now, and I really have to think about what is most important to me. He kind of like looks over to the group, kind of gives you guys a nod, and he goes, "I wish you all well, and you will always have a friendship with me. Should you visit anywhere in the Flitwick Forest, but I need to make sure that everything is safe at home, and I've already asked you once to fight alongside me with those lizard folk, and I'm not sure that I am strong enough to ask you to do it again. Vel, I know you need to avenge Colt or the goals of the group being what they are, but I can't put that ahead of myself, and I can't put that ahead of my people."
We all have to follow whatever path we feel is right for us. It saddens me, everything that's happened. But if you need to be with your people, I can understand that calling.
He looks over to the rest of you. He goes, give Lady Galante my regards. I'm thankful for what she was able to do for me. But I've always known myself to have a calling above normal people, and I thought that meant being a chosen. I thought fighting the bad guys wherever we could find them, and getting muddled up in political affairs, and finding treasure and fighting giants was what that meant. But I think my real calling was to find myself and find what truly is important to me, and in this time I can't, in good faith, find that to be anything other than the people I grew up alongside. He kind of just looks, and as you guys stay there and kind of look him over, giving like a soft nod, he takes it and exits from the small shanty, taking with him his gear, his equipment, and heads off into the early morning mist, back southward towards the river, and most likely towards his home within the Flitwick Forest, trying to make sure that his people are well maintained and cared for. Yes.
I didn't realize we were skipping straight to the next morning. Can I have resummoned Aja last night?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Good to go, Unicorn? Yeah? Yes, no? Oh. Muted? Not muted? I don't know. Beep boop. I'm gonna do one of these the whole night. Just shakies. Oh, I heard a crackle. Crackle smackle. Dackle dackle.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Hey, look at that.
Hey, it's that commercial.
More bars and more places. Not sponsored, but we could be. The money is not important. The important thing is we can say that your company supports us. I'll do it for free. Be like, yeah, that one company, that big one, yeah, they like our D&D stuff. That's all I care about. Brand. That's called brand recognition. When you think Pete's pastrami's, you think Second Wake. So Pete, if you're out there, you make an excellent sandwich. So yeah, Bucky enters in Bugsy. Not a rabbit. Exits southward, and the four of you are left within the small shanty of Fort Osen. You can hear various peoples outside begin to awake from the various dwellings in the shanty area. You can hear the heavy stone gates kind of begin to slide and tilt, and you can hear this kind of rolling hum of as the center gate, this large stone column that locks and seals the tower of Fort Osen, the fort itself, at night, begin to come loose into the early morning. The sun has not truly broken across the area, but there's that kind of blanketed twilight that is, you can tell that dawn is fast approaching. What would you four like to do?
Can I summon Chunkini now?
Oh, of course. You wave your hand, and are you like a kind of like clicking your tongue, or are you more like a piss, 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 piss? Like what's the magic word for the cat? That's what I want to know.
Pss, 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 pss.
Oh, the piss, 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 piss.
And then you like do this.
You snap the fingers. Okay. So
Yeah.
you see Morgan bring your hands up like this. She starts doing the piss, 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 piss. And slowly you can hear this echo into the room. There's no light, there's no smoke, there's no magic to it. It's just as if the cat walks out from behind a corner, seemingly always there, but now summoned at this very moment. You hear the deep guttural groan of and slowly you hear the little jingles ding, 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 of their little belled feet, and then with a very hefty it flops over right next to Morgan, and you see this very rotund, massive, summoned creature known as Chunkini. Vizier Chunkini.
Thanks.
Of course. So with pets summoned, the four of you standing in the shantytown, dawn soon coming, what would you all like to do?
I'll kind of look over and see how Bartholomew is faring after yesterday, and if Colt seems like he's, I don't know, whatever he's planning on doing now.
Sure. You turn and look towards the back of the shantytown, this like small dwelling that you've lived in now for the night, and you can see Bartholomew kind of like staring into a corner, and still like a vegetative, almost meditative state. Beside him and kind of like curled up a little bit behind him is Captain Colt Honeycutt, who is like ever so slow, like very quietly. You can hear this kind of like snakes. I hate snakes. Don't put it in my boot. Shit. And he is still very much unconscious. The pair of your companions still very much either in states of meditation, you assume, or states of full slumber. They are clearly, the pair of them, not currently used to the schedule of you guys waking up before dawn. You assume both of them are probably more than likely used to sleeping in, or sleeping in locations that would have them be awake.
Are we the only ones in this shack?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you were given a private area. So long as they have the room within the various shanties, they make sure that they don't put multiple groups together if they can help it. Unless you guys arrive together or travel together, or made like we're waiting for our friend, and then if your friend shows up, they'll help you out. But again, this is not truly the fort itself. This is just a like extension for visitors that arrive when the gates are closed.
Orville would like to pop outside and try and see what the weather's going to be like for the day.
Sure. You walk out and wander outside. You can see, again, these kind of like listless rays of sunlight peeking up over the horizon. The sun is not truly risen, so you get that kind of like bright orange, purplish hue that is like emanating and blanketing the sky above. You lick your finger, hold it up to the wind, try and get a gauge for how the day is going to be. Go ahead and give me either a nature check or an insight roll, your choice.
That is a 15 on insight.
15 on insight. You get a feel for it. You can feel the kind of mist and the steam that you would assume that rolls from the north to the south. There's still a little bit of winter wind that wisps off of the nearby mountain range. But you can feel kind of like an uneasiness for a minute. You can feel that there is likely to be rain maybe later in the day. You look up into the skies, you can see telltale signs some many miles away of very heavy, darkening clouds. Will definitely be a good day for taking shelter or traveling, should you want to bear the nature of the world. But it looks as if, at least for the morning, you'll have a very bright and sunny morning with sparse cloud coverage, from what you can tell. You get a good feel for it, but I'm assuming Orville here, but in Orville's history, he probably has like a swollen toe when he knows rain's coming or something. He feels like the kind of Florida man myth that you can just tell, my old knee's acting up. I know it's gonna be a hurricane. Like, I just feel like Orville has that thing. So we'll say anytime we have a good insight check, we'll just say Orville has that's my old tennis elbows acting up. That's hail.
Everything about Orville now makes sense that you've referred to him as a Florida man. Like, I get it all.
Yeah, of course. He eats bugs, talks with a southern drawl. He punches people a lot. I mean, the signs are always there.
Puzzle together.
The puzzle. Do.
Putting all these pieces, and then we found the words that came above it, and it said "Goblin Florida Man." Like,
small green Florida man reported beating the crap out of beetles and betting on worm races. No, that's Orville. I don't think I can think of a Florida man headline that doesn't just be like, yeah, it could be a goblin. So yeah, you get a sense for how the day is going to go. You were expecting rain probably later in like the early afternoon.
I'll go ahead and relay that to anybody who's up and about.
All right. Inform the masses, all three of you.
that's good. We'll probably be inside the fort, so shouldn't be a bother, I don't think. Orville, I wanted to thank you for something yesterday.
What would that be, Val?
I rushed myself into battle in front of Bartholomew to protect him, and you immediately responded by putting yourself in front of me, and I thank you for doing that.
You're welcome, Val. You're really not the type to be up there punching and stabbing with the nasty lizard folk, so I figured I might be a little bit better suited for it. And,
Well, that is very true, but in the future, especially if it's just a 4 1/4 of us, kind of looking at Buddy as I say a quarter.
Oh, Buddy's a
it might
quarter?
be better if we stand side by side, a 10th, whatever. If we stood side by side in battle to not allow enemies to surround us so much. Surround you, as it were.
Yeah, they did. They got their licks in on me, but by the grace of the Weavers, I'm still here. I'd like to not have to rely on their graces so much.
Yes. Well, that's why we have to rely on each other.
So we shall. I look forward to it, Val.
You hear a groan in the back of the shanty. You can see this red-skinned individual and wipe a big, like, kind of gullet of spittle from the drool hanging outside of his snoring mouth. He sits up and, oh shit, turns and looks to your group and goes, "Morning, y'all. Well, hell, y'all look like your cat got skinned in the middle of the night. What's for grub? We going in? We going to this fort? What's the deal?" And he kind of like turns and looks and sees Bartholomew just like staring at a wall. He goes, "Hey, buddy, wake up, friend." You hear, I wasn't sleeping. I'm awake. Always awake. Never sleeping." And you see Buddy kind of stand up and like dust himself off, of which there is much dust. It seems like dust has magnetized to the elf. He was clean, and now as he stands up, he like, woof, and there's like probably days worth of dust that comes out of his outfit, and he's like, oh Dawn, okay, I just sorry. And he starts kind of like shaking his cloak out into the side and like trying to get cleaned up. You look over and you can see Captain Colt Honeycutt kind of pull back on his breastplate, kind of like pull his belt back on with his weapons on it, and looks to you all and goes, Where's that horn fellow what wanted to take me along on this here venture? I already agreed that I'd do it, but I'm just saying."
Well, you're not holding to any agreement then, as he decided that, in recent events, the call of his homeland needed him.
Well, shit.
So he took his leave rather early.
Always good of an individual to find out that family's what matters most, but deal's a deal. I'd walk with you into the fray if you need it, but getting the feeling none too welcome here. If it's all the same to you, if you don't require my services inside of the that there fort, maybe I'll wait for you. Do you want me to wait for you? I don't know if we're gonna. Do you need the boat? Me and the snake waiting for you at a moment's notice. We could be like ready to go in.
I don't know if we'll need it or not until after we've met with our contact here.
Right. All right. Well, hey, I'll scrounge up some breakfast or something. I'll head on in. It feels like you guys kind of need the room or something. Yeah, I'll head in the local tavern here in the fort. See if I can't scrounge up a breakfast. If y'all need me, just give me a holler. If I don't hear from you by tomorrow, I'll probably head on out. I think there's good fishing to be had just to the south, right before you hit up Missport. Maybe I'll hit the open waters. Might be a good time to head further south. It's getting kind of chilly up north, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Captain Honeycutt.
Hey, thank you, Miss Velithil. He kind of walks up and grabs his pack and slings it over his shoulder and looks at Bartholomew. Hey, skinny guy. Breakfast? He goes, no, I think I'm gonna stay here with all of the sane people, if that's all the same to you. He goes, oh, the way you said that makes it sound like I'm not one of those people. Well, you're not like a Weaver's Chosen or anything, so you're like the boat guy. He goes, right. Yeah, I'm just the boat guy. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I'll see y'all if you see ya. And he heads out of the edge of the shanty town and exits, and heads off, assumedly, to go inside of the Fort Osen as the doors open. So there's that. What do you all want to do? Bartholomew kind of looks you all over as he's dusting himself off. He goes, I'm not quite sure why we're even here. I know you said you had business at the fort, but, well, I'm not quite sure after yesterday. I think, personally, I need to find, an armorer and a smithy and outfit myself accordingly if I am to be in battle once more.
It's not my intention to force you into battle at any time, Bartholomew, but it would be best to prepare yourself for that eventuality.
Of course, of course, of course. Lady Downvey, I would be quite apt to preparing myself for such things in the future. I humbly apologize for my cowardice in the fields of battle. I was ill prepared to deal with how ravenous our enemies were and how vicious the attack patterns were, but you all truly are heroes. I was astounded to see such bravery in the face of such desperate measures and negotiations coming to an head. I will try to follow your example as a companion and member of this association, and I will earn my pay here, I assure you.
Well, that's... I appreciate your words, but don't feel like you have to put yourself into the way we do. Your skills are very useful. Your linguistics and knowledge a great boon to us, so don't think you have to take forward of any dangerous lizard folk like we do.
Of course. Well, in the event that we find ourselves in need of contract negotiation, or perhaps a battle of words or poems, I will be the starfighter of this association.
Yes, I think that would be true.
Good then. So, what comes next?
Just a quick thing, buddy. Can I just get my sword back?
Oh, I thought I had, and he kind of like looks around the area, because I thought I handed it to you back at the lizard folk camp, but I put it on the ground, and he starts like looking around, goes, it's probably on the boat. I think it's on the boat. Probably.
That's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome, Miss Gwendolyn.
I was gonna walk outside and wait for everybody.
Like, Buddy kind of like walks up to to JJ and go, because Orville's outside checking the weather, and goes, "Does she hate me now? I feel like I've made a faux pas. This reeks of Yuan Tea negotiations all over again."
I don't quite think it's that bad.
I remember handing it to her. I thought, but maybe my memory's going away too.
Do you want me to give you some money?
No, I couldn't ask you to do that. That would be
It's gotta
awful.
be replaced.
I mean, I'm sure maybe you buy her a new sword, and we could like... Oh, my mother used to do this all the time because I was forgetful. She would buy a gift for my father, and then we would put both our names on it and say it was from us. Maybe we just do that here, since you have money and I work for you, and I'm a little short until payday anyway. So maybe...
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you wouldn't mind putting my name on it?
no, that was gonna be my second suggestion, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if it's it doesn't have to be alphabetical. I know that Bartholomew does become before JJ, but we could say it's JJ and Bartholomew, and that's just as good.
We can just put from Bartholomew. It'll be okay.
Oh, I couldn't take all the credit for that. I don't even know.
It's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. Right then, we've got people to meet and to talk to, and things that I Bartholomew Irden, diplomat extraordinaire of the Seekers of Galanti, will be the forefront of.
JJ's gonna turn to Vel. Because I think it's just us three left in the shack right now, right?
Yeah, it's you, Buddy, and Vel.
I kind of wanted everyone around when I brought this up, but
We can get them back inside.
yeah. JJ's gonna lean out and kind of just holler for Orville and Moore. Could you guys come in just a moment, just a second?
Orville come hustling.
Same.
Morgan, Orville return.
Maybe it's just I guess what I want to say is that with the culmination of everything that we've seen in the last week or so, I just maybe wanted to see how you guys were feeling, or like what y'all were thinking about everything that's happened. Because personally, I don't know what's right and what's wrong anymore, to be fair. I'm just a little lost, and maybe y'all know better than me. But I guess I'm just looking for some guidance from y'all. Y'all have more experience than I do in this life.
It's been very difficult, and it's been so few days. And I am trying to lead us to the best of our abilities to do what we have been tasked to do, but this has been a strange venture, to say the least. And I want to do what is right, but the question is, what is right for who? Or perhaps it's just what is right for us.
I think that's I guess what I'm trying to get at. But I also wanted to make sure that, all of us were okay, because we did lose Colt, and then we were kind of told, that everything that we knew about the steam fields, and that they, it's kind of not like, obviously the world ain't black and white, but it seems so muddy and gray here. And then yesterday just felt weird, surreal, very confusing, I suppose.
It was a battle.
Certainly. Yes, but the reasons for that battle were hopefully in the right place. I think at the point that we are with yesterday's, we merely have to accept the side that we chose. And hope that we helped more than we harmed.
Well, a few things, if I might, Miss JJ. Personally speaking, I don't think you've lost Colt. He is just inside the fort. You could go get him. I could go get him for you and bring him back here. He's not, we haven't lost him. Yes.
That is part of the reason that we are not so keen on this captain who we've come to meet, only but 2 days before meeting this one,
Mhm.
we lost a companion who we'd fought beside for some time, who bore the exact same name.
Oh, is that? Hmm. And he kind of like thinks about it for a moment and goes,
On
is that like
on
a?
the ship, he spoke of how he referred to that person,
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
and JJ drew a fantastic likeness of
Hmm.
the cult that we knew.
Hmm. Do you suppose that it's like? Well, I'm not versed truly in hobgoblin familial bonds, other than what's in my books, of course, that I studied for becoming a diplomat. But is the surname Honeycutt and Colt, is that like Galandril for our people? Like, I remember turn of the century, everyone was naming their children Galandril. It was like, oh, look, there's Galandril. Oh, there she is, Galandril again. And then you were walking down the street, there's Galandril the Mighty. He killed a wolf the other day. Like, everyone named their kids Galandril for like 10, 20 years. It was the thing. And then they moved on to Zerta, and they moved on to, oh, what was the other one? Like Leonin for a while, and then we found out they're actually a race of people named Leonin, and that was rather tasteless. That was a big, yeah, that was a big political problem for many years, actually.
Bartholomew.
Yes, I'm sorry.
While that may be possible, this ship's captain who we've just split from here was rather familiar with the one that we knew and knew him by a different name.
Oh,
But the way he described him was a very different person than what we knew, and someone has taken a name, perhaps both of them took a name of someone else. It's hard to know the truth of this, especially without our code.
is there, and this might sound crazy, a chance that your cult is possessing the body of this cult?
I don't think he could keep it a secret if he was trying to be some other cult. I think he'd just show up and be like, "Look, guys, I got a new body."
He was that braggadocious, you mean?
That sounds like the cult we knew and loved.
I know a number of people that have traveled far north that act like that. I could see it. Okay. Apology. I'm trying to get my bearings here.
It's all right.
But-
I know it's honestly a very confusing situation. It's
Mhm.
very odd.
Yes. It's a lot to wrap your brain around, to say the least. If I might also speak on your other situation, I have never been truly privy to the makings, decisions, and weight on the shoulders of Weaver's Chosen. I have never been chosen. I have never wielded a sword that could defeat armies. I have never slain a giant. I honestly had not left my home in some many hundreds of years until I wanted to get a job, but it was more like a want, and it was really, I was kind of groomed for it in a way from my family. There was a lot of political, anyway, not important right now. But I will say this, is that from everything that I have been told, you folks who brandish the name Weaver's Chosen are the heroes of this age. There are many who knew the Realm Weavers personally. There are many still within Aurelian borders and history who would have shook their hands before they ascended truly. They were people, the same as you or anyone else, and with that you are people. I can't tell you not to worry about the things that you do having or not having consequences. But speaking simply as a person who lives within the Everwield itself, it has always been held in the notion that Weaver's Chosen and those who embark on the long pilgrimage to Dyrwood and become anointed and become sponsored by a noble family are those whose decisions carry heavy weight, that the choices you make are never going to be perfect, but it's you making those decisions that the rest of us look to and have to make it understood, that have to make it sit right. It is believed by many in the churches that a divine hand still guides the actions of the hundreds of you chosen who wield this unspeakable power, this accelerated path of growth, that you're able to, within days, nearly double or even triple your fighting strengths. You're, within months, become more powerful enough and master magics that would take others decades to learn. Your innate abilities put you in a prime position that truly I have to remark on, that if ever there was someone to make a choice, I would hope that it is either someone born to the role, as a noble ought to, or that there be a weavish chosen to make that choice for the common folk. With great power, as they say.
Well said, Bartholomew. Thank you.
You're welcome. I simply do not wish to see it trouble you, so I thank you for all that you've already brought into my life after so many years. And I mean, kind of flipping off the Sea Salt and Sunday Saloon was kind of fun. So more of that if we choose to do that in the future. Maybe we could vandalize a few places or something. Might be fun. Maybe we find these bad guys and we tell their mothers on them. That'll get them.
Those certainly are options that may come to our... We'll see.
There's something to be said that you can cut a person with a sword, but get their mother to pull on an ear, it's over.
Yes, that would be terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I do appreciate
Of course.
how you paint it, and it is, in a sense, simple, and yet when we find ourselves facing these dilemmas, we do have to take solace in ourselves and ensure that we are content with what we're doing. I know that this kingdom that we plan on returning to, Ravan, is none of our homes, and I don't think any of us have been very happy with how we were treated there. But I do agree with the intent of he who hired us to show the general populace and even the nobility of Silverhearth that they should be more open-minded. That is the potential of what our success could reveal to humanity. Is that worth stopping what to me would appear to be the giant's legitimate claim for part of this land, if not all of it? But if you worry about our current foe, it's the Ram. He is an invading force. He rides on the backs of giants who have legitimate claim here, but he does not. And he uses the most underhanded and manipulative tactics to take control. I could look to Montserrat, who screams throughout the morning his intents in all honest warfare, and put more respect in the hands of someone like that than I would how the Black Ram operates.
You said something rather troubling there, Miss Dowenvey. You said he rides on the backs of giants. You mean like orcs, or maybe like a rather tall tiefling individual?
Hill,
Sometimes
stone, formed of at least one fire giant. Quite literally giants, yes.
The giants are all dead.
No, they are small in number, and they are led by the likes of the Black Ram to claim
He's
land
got
for him and parts for their own, I suppose. It's hard to say.
some prince giant, I think.
Prince Giant? There's a prince of... I think if there was a prince of giants still around, we would know about it. The empire, the Ackland Empire, fell and was the last stronghold and bastion through all of Ravon. Everyone knows the story. I actually was in the same room when the Aurelian noble in royalty met with the then kings, there were multiple ones, of Silverhearth, and established the Treaty of Non-Aggression that they later rectified upon the backs of the slain foe of the Giantkin. At the time, they had noted that there was no claim left, no one of nobility that could claim the lands of Ravon for the Giantkin, and so policy was enacted. If it's all the same to you, I would be rather careful with who you let know that, because that would likely get the I believe the term is get the goat of a number of stuffy individuals that might not appreciate such information.
Maybe he wasn't quite a prince, but he's somewhat important.
Son of Magnus.
Yeah, Valric, that fella.
Of course, the son of Magnus. Sure. That's not crazy at all to hear. Son of Magnus. Oh, okay. Sure.
So you think it's a lie?
I can.
If the son of Magnus was still alive, that would mean that he would have the rights of Magnus and the blood of Magnus, meaning that he would be a 24, 25 foot tall being of eternal pyre, whose beard still clinged with the flames of the first light that the Weavers ever bestowed upon the world. Yeah, I think someone would notice that one. I think that would come up in pleasant conversation. But, I mean, if someone's calling themselves then that's... I mean, you have to laugh a little bit, because it's a rather bold claim. It's very easy to tell when they're lying.
Well, let's hope that's so. I wouldn't think someone like that would be serving under another, like the Black Ram.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps if we deal with the Ram, we can avoid too much conflict with the Giantkin that remain.
It sounds like a remarkable story. Maybe... Would it be alright if I recorded your adventures in maybe like a book, and then we could like publish it, like co-publish it, and then in the event that this turns out to be a historical event, maybe, you know, we could send it out that way.
Kind of look at JJ as she was the one who may have wanted to tell our tales.
She's just turning away slowly, like, ugh. Yeah, we could co-write something, I'm sure.
Oh, you're a writer?
It would be yeah, that's one of my interests.
Oh,
But it would probably help to have a learned fellow like yourself help me write something.
of course.
Help me write things and this and what and the other. I'm
trained in over 22 forms of calligraphy in most languages, if not all of them, that are written, spoken, or viewed. I would, of course, not profess to know better than you for your journey, but perhaps it could be more autobiographical, and I could be your writer.
Yeah, we'll work something out. It would be good to, you know, have a record of what we do kind of, deal with and whatnot, especially for when we return to Ravon.
Mm-hmm. As heroes and champions.
Right. Great. I also wanted to ask y'all. It's just us now. Obviously, Bucky has had to do his own thing, and he has his calling, and we no longer have our original cult. Do we want to perhaps see if we can bring anyone in, bring anyone on? There could always, we could always use some sort of a hand. Not that you're not helpful, buddy.
You were referring to me.
Just perhaps,
I'm going to write the book, so.
Yes, of course. You have your own skill set.
Yeah.
But perhaps if we find some folks with a different skill set.
Well, might I be able to ask why you've chosen to come to Fort Osen? In my history of it, it's always been a military garrison for would-be vagabonds and roundabouts and toughs that have always sought to defend the Aurelian borders from the incursion of the Ravonian government. More like freedom fighters, really. Is there a reason we came specifically here, or are we just sleeping for the day and then heading north?
Actually, when I last was in contact with Lady Gudalanti, she said to come, I think it was look for Agatha, her friend, her contact here. Perhaps we could have a word with her. She said she's in the fort, so.
Oh, okay. But it might be good to speak with her, if that's your contact. If you're looking for further able-bodied individuals such as myself, then of course you'd probably want to seek someone who knows the people of this tower and fort. That would seem to be not to tell you better or anything, but just if that is why you're here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was mostly what I wanted to say and talk about. I don't know if, Orville or Morgan have other thoughts or other feelings about, the last few days. But I just wanted to check in on everyone.
I mean, JJ, we all got to find our balance somewhere, Bucky found that his was, beyond adventuring and where his roots had set, and if that's what works for him, that's what works for him. As a group, we are a bit at a deficit here, and maybe a little bit off balance. Maybe we can seek to change that, but that's what lies ahead of us for right now. I'm kind of thinking about breakfast, if I'm being honest.
A non-ration does sound good.
Oh. As you've talked about breakfast, you see that Bartholomew reaches out and has some crackers that Captain Colt had given to him. It was like non-ration food. Yep, that's what I was thinking too, Mr. Judd.
Hot meal looks like it would be good, buddy.
Yep, of course.
Maybe hot meals.
Hot meal, how about that? Sounds good.
Before we head in for that, I think if we can find someone who we feel would serve well with us, it's worth looking into it, JJ. I agree with you there. We are strong, but we have certainly suffered losses,
Mm-hmm.
and Colt especially weighs heavy on me, and I would endeavor that we... Oh, I want to thank you all. You chose him first, slightly out of humor, but you all knew that he would be a good leader, and in losing him, you've still accepted me to fill that role that we would have attempted to do together, and I thank you all for following my judgments on the few things that have passed.
Of
I
course,
won't go
you
into specifics.
you haven't really steered us too wrong or anything. We appreciate the guidance. Really.
Thank you for stepping up.
Right. Yes, but I've never had this before. Everything for so long was the same. I didn't lose friends or family to age or disease or disaster or a stone giant or an assassin. That wasn't how things were back home. And then for a little while, as just an assistant to the lady, it was also stagnant there as well. Now everything has rushed forward so quickly. And even the first time we lost Colt, it wasn't real. I didn't... It just seemed like what I always thought. Death comes for other folks. And second time, I'd seen him as a leader, and I'd seen him stand before all of us and take action. I don't like the feeling of loss. I don't like the feeling of Bucky walking out. I don't like so much that I honestly have not truly experienced in this way before. And I want each of you to know that I value you and will do my best to protect you, because I don't want to feel this again.
Then let's do our best for each other, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Y'all have my best.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, unless anyone else has anything to say, suppose that hot breakfast is in order.
Hot breakfast sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds great. Hey, Bucky. Or, not Bucky. Oh, my goodness.
From 5 miles away. Yeah, Phil. Huh?
Now, buddy, are you, for your breakfast meat, do you prefer bacon or sausage?
Bacon or sausage? Like you have a choice. You get to you could pick.
Well, you're with us, you sure can.
Wow. No one's ever asked me that in quite some time. Bacon or sausage? Well, it's both pork, right? Like, I mean, you could make sausage out of other things. What? Yes.
Yes is a good answer. I like that answer. Let's go get some breakfast.
I figured that would be the smart answer. I'm learning. Like you see, and Bartholomew goes and opens the door for you guys. It's like,
I'm
please
gonna
wait,
make
so-
sure that Bartholomew didn't leave anything behind while he slept or fell out of new holes, even though I just fixed all of his clothes.
Yeah, sure. You look over and the small bag in the corner that has his spare clothes that he got off the boat is just sitting like haphazardly in the corner of the room.
Pick that up.
You pick it back up and collect it. And he's, oh, what was that, Miss Downway?
Making sure nothing's left behind. I hold it out for him. Unless
Oh,
you want this left behind.
No, I was gonna go back for that after holding the. Thank you.
You don't have to lie if you don't want this. We can buy you new clothes in the fort.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's the only other
I
clean
mean,
outfit I know.
If you want to get rid of this, let's burn it on a pyre.
I mean, but maybe in the case that I have to impersonate a Sea Salt and Sunday Saloon employee again, maybe a covert mission, it could come in handy. Also,
Did you know you could probably make some if you took like the logos off that? You could probably make some extra money selling like portraits. Have someone do portraits of you in that. That's probably a good idea.
I've never been one for modeling portraits, Miss Lightning. I will say, while the outfit does flatter my thighs and calves, I don't know that I would appreciate the attention that such an outfit garners from an artist, per se.
You never know. Always
Never.
ways to make money.
You're right. Breakfast! Let's go for breakfast. Thank you, Miss Lightning. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I am very welcome this day. Blessed, some would say. So, you guys head out of the shanty abode?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys exit through. As you begin your walk, you begin to see the light of the sun begin to peer up over the horizon. As it does so, you can hear this crackling boom out in the distance, and this slow kind of recess kind of noise, this static cling kind of seems to emanate in all directions, seemingly all at once. And you hear very faded and very far in the distance this kind of like scratchy voice, and you hear, hello, MMLR 660 in the morning. Our top story. Siege. Date. Coverage. And it continues to like very like if you ever had like an old record that slowly is like burning through and like the volume keeps kind of wobbling back and forth. Not really a clear signal, but you can hear very far to what you assume to be like closer to the north. The very small bits and pieces of the morning broadcast for MMLR 660. You hear about, as you make it to the front of the fort, what equates to about 10-15 minutes of talking. The gist of which, those of you that are perceptive enough understand it to be that they've locked the front doors, and there's something about people showing up uninvited, and there's like all kinds of small talk and chatter about how they're not going to be censored by any one political government or movement. And it's kind of like a weird broadcast, and then it starts cutting into, and you start hearing this kind of like screeching sound. Orville, Morgan, being that you two are very perceptive individuals, you both hear like this screeching sound cut away. And there is like, you're very happy that it's very low volume and very low, like faded echo, as you can hear what sounds like screeching violins, and then some type of deep bellowing voice, kind of like rising and falling with some type of what you assume to be a song somewhere, but from what area or what part of the world it might be considered music, you're not quite sure. But you guys reach the front. So as you all reach the front of the fort of Osen, you see these large, kind of heavy marbled white stone slabs encased in what appears to be different types of small, slender, elvish runes that run the length of the marble, that would later kind of close in and lock the fort up at night. Many people look and kind of point and kind of seem excited. Many of people who seem to have rested here or taken shelter, various races from Elven to Gnomish. You see a number of folks of Orcish descent. You see folks that do have kind of Satyr heritages. Some folks that probably are closer towards leaning of Tiefling or more kind of demonic ancestry. All kind of making their way in the fort. You note a number of the guards all brandishing these kind of like heavy chest piece, large cape over their shoulders with the white kind of like oaken look to much of their attire, befitting the actual fort itself and the pillar of strength that it represents to those in the border of Aurelia. As you guys enter into the front gate, you can see that a number of people are these guards kind of overlooking and just kind of like peering through the crowd, not so much taking information or anything of that sort, but more looking for people who they think might cause problems or trouble. You all pass fairly easily. No one seems to really point you out and be like, those people are monsters. You do note, however, as you all begin to make your way through the front entrance, you hear a voice cut out from the crowd, and it's kind of this deeper voice, and you hear this, "You there! Stop! You're under investigation." And you look around, and you see this large guard, this kind of like half-Orcan individual with long pointed ears, seems to have Elven and Orcish heritages within him, walks forward and grasps Bartholomew by the front of his shirt and goes, "I've seen your kind before. What are you peddling? Drugs? Smack? In Fort Osen? I don't think so. Empty pockets." You see Bartholomew kind of shake and go, I don't know. He goes, hands where I can see him the whole time. "You told me to empty my pockets. I don't." And he leans over and looks to you all. He goes, help me. Help.
Excuse me, sir. Is something the matter?
Yes, something is the matter. We here at the fort want to ensure that everyone follows the rules. And this guy looks suspicious. "I'm not suspicious. I don't have anything." "I know a guy I know a mule when I see one. You know what a mule is? It's a donkey of some kind, I think." "No, it's not. It's someone who traffics drugs." "So, traffic drugs?" He turns to look at you, goes, "Who are you people? You vouching for this drug mule?"
So I will vouch for him because I don't believe he is a drug mule.
So you wouldn't
I don't
mind
think
me
he's.
patting him down, would you?
I don't see a problem with that.
All right, then. Hands up. And you see Bartholomew, like, takes like a T-pose. And you see this...
Buddy, you know how JJ was saying about earning some extra money?
yeah.
This wants to feel you up.
"Oh, trying to earn some extra money in the fort, are you?" And he starts patting him down, and you just see this like horrified face on your diplomat, just like, and these big heavy like hands like slap on his arms, and like he's being very rough with him. It's probably the worst TSA agent we've ever seen in a fantasy setting. Just kind of like slaps him about and looks him over and goes, "Couldn't find anything." And he like pulls out his coin purse with a hole in it, like looks over the rest of his outfit, goes, "What's this?" And he pulls out the Sunday Saloon outfit. Goes, "What's this?" He goes, "It's my work uniform. My ex-work uniform." He goes, "Seen creepos wear this kind of stuff. This barely even fits you, I bet. You selling to kids? You gonna go outside the school? You gonna sell to kids? Is that what you're gonna do, big guy?" He goes, No, I would never sell drugs to children." He goes, "That's what they all say. That's what they all say. Spread them." He goes, "Spread what?" You see him pull out this like leathery glove. He goes, "Them." He goes, "Hey, they search Buddy. He goes, all right, he's clean." He hands all his clothes back to Buddy. Buddy's in like his same outfit, but it's very disheveled. He just kind of like clings his things together. He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Sorry, I had a tip off from an individual came through earlier this morning saying that there would be an elven individual in shoddy clothing that might be trafficking drugs here. So we're just doing our concern best." He goes, "Okay, I'm sorry." He goes, "It's okay. You don't have to be sorry. I'm just doing my job." He goes, "All right, thanks." Buddy slowly rejoins the group.
I kind of want to get his officer number and find out who his superior is. That was unnecessary.
Quite unnecessary, if you ask me. Say, JJ, do you? I know it's been a while, but you had a sketch of our Colt Honeycutt, not this fellow that came through here, but I think the other Colt Honeycutt, fake one, might have been the one tipped off this fella who did all that nonsense to Buddy. You still got that sketch on me? Can we ask him if that's the sort of fella that tipped him off? They look close enough alike, right?
I suppose. Do
Do
you want to ask him?
Sure, I'll ask.
Yeah. Do they look similar?
Sketch on
No,
me.
no, not really.
I feel like there's
Yeah,
some
they
stark
don't.
differences between the two Colts
You-
we're
I mean,
familiar with.
You know that Captain Colt Honeycutt has a very large scar from like toe to tip on his forehead and two big metal looking like staples in his head. That's probably a good like dignifier of who this guy is.
Yeah, that's a good mark.
That's a pretty good mark.
All right, could I just ask that then?
Yeah, you
Is
walk up
some
and you're like, hey,
fella with a giant gash in his face and
yeah,
staples on it.
you-
Tell you about this fella.
you see the guard kind of looking and goes, unfortunately I can't give away our source. It was a anonymous tip off, and any individual coming through, we take those tips rather seriously. So I couldn't say one way or another if a hobgoblin were to say such things about an elf.
Oh, I don't think he said anything about a hobgoblin, but thank you very much.
You have yourself a great day. I don't know anything about a hobgoblin coming through talking about drug cartel elves. Yeah, you don't cause any problems.
What are you gonna say, mister?
You see the guard walk off.
JJ, do you still want to get a superior officer's name? We could ask a different guard if you wanted to lodge a complaint or anything.
All right, I'll draw up another sketch or something.
Okay, you're gonna draw one up of the guard or of Captain Colt Honeycutt?
Of the guard.
Of the guard, sure.
The guard.
Just give me like a performance check, just a general performance. As you start sketching this guard, like you're doing an artist rendering of this guard. You know him to have short kind of hair, small tusks, longer, more pointed ears than would be typical for an orc. Wearing the same guard armor as everyone else, and you get the kind of the bridge of his nose right. With a 19, you have what we would affectionately call a photocopy of this guy's face.
JJ is
and
like
and you've
a
captured
court
him.
sketch artist.
Yeah, she's the
Just,
home
like, quickly
stenographer.
getting people's likenesses down.
But yeah, you have this picture of him like yelling at Buddy, like barking an order at Buddy, and you're like, I think this captures the essence of this guy very well.
Wait. Maybe I can illustrate the book. There we go. All right. She's just gonna stomp off and try and look for a tavern
Okay.
at the same time.
Easy to do. So you guys head into the Fort Osen proper. You look in, again, for it being a massive pearlescent tower, it's actually rather open on the inside. The structure itself being large, heavy, several inches to feet thick of marble that has been carved out of the earth itself. The inside of it is beautifully done. There are several dancing lights, bright illuminated areas. You note that there is effectively a kind of a circular pattern that kind of protrudes the majority of the city. You can see along the edges, you can hear the kind of grinding sounds of wood up against marble, as you can see these kind of like pulleyed elevators that seem to move up and down throughout the various sides of the city. For as long as the fort has stood here, the interior seems fairly modern. There are different forms of hand-operated machinery. You look at the opening area, there are several, not so much buildings per se, but areas that just exist within the fort under the same roof. There is a second floor, and you presume third, fourth, and fifth floor, but it looks as if this base area has a number of open things. Among them is what appears to be like a stopover, almost like a diner of sorts. There is a kind of open, kind of floating squared up bar, a number of tables, and a small section of this kind of like bottom portion of the fort sectioned off for travelers to come get morning food, kind of trade in. And you note that most of the bottom of the fort itself is much in the same. There seems to be kind of like not so much walls that separate the various buildings and infrastructure, but just places of business, people trading from rugs or from small wooden slats that kind of make their own flooring. But as you kind of look over the area, you do find this kind of squared up, almost like a small fence that kind of like angles out this open-aired kind of diner of sorts. In it, you can see a rather large and rotund individual behind the what appears to be like a large stone grill, wearing a smock that's covered in stains and the like, standing roughly about 6.5 foot tall, with gray faded skin befitting that of the stone that they're cooking on. As you guys kind of walk up into the area, you hear him go, "Oh, welcome to Marty's. Have a seat wherever, we'll get to you."
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lead everyone to a table.
Yeah. You start walking towards the table. You hear a whistling sound, and a hand goes up in the air, this red hand. You see Captain Colt Honeycutt sitting. He's already got a whole continental breakfast kind of like laid out. Muffins, pastries, bacon, eggs, the works. And he goes, "Hey, good morning, fellas, ladies. You can share a table with me."
I kind of look over the group.
Bartholomew kind of looks over and like shakily looks at Captain Colt Honeycutt and goes, Did you get hassled by the guards?" Just, "Hassled by the guards? Oh no, I couldn't imagine that. They only really tend to hassle people that look a little sketchy." He goes, "Oh, okay."
Would anyone like to join the good captain, or shall we have our own table?
I think we should leave that one up to our good pal Buddy.
"Oh, sure. I mean," he like kind of like just goes, "Okay, I guess I'm making choices." And he walks up and sits right next to Captain Colt Honeycutt, doesn't understand what happened, has no context for the situation, sits right down and goes, How is the breakfast? Orville said we get bacon and sausage."
No.
He goes, "Well, the sausage is a little funky. They put pepper in it or something, but the bacon is out of this world tremendous. You want a piece?" He goes, "Yeah, I would love a piece." He goes, "Cool, you can order it." He goes, "Right, of course, I could order my own bacon."
Buddy, come sit with us.
What? Are we not sitting here?
JJ, that's
Being a mean
this is
kid.
exactly what I thought was going to happen. Because I thought to myself, I should let Buddy make this decision. And then I thought, he's going to make the wrong decision.
But Buddy gets his things and like kind of like sits back up and goes, "Oh, okay, I'll go sit with you." He goes, "All right, well, more table for me. All right, hey, I'll talk at you later, friend." He goes, "Yeah, of course. Good seeing you, Captain." He goes, "Yep, good seeing you too, Bartholomew."
Also, can I assume that JJ has been like cradling the like infant-sized Bachelor now, or
Vassar's just the
Shoulder.
size. He's
Pepper
like,
battle?
yeah, he's like the size, like a little bit bigger than like a 7-inch action figure. He's not like full baby size.
Okay.
He went from being like able to hide in your hair like a big tick to being like the size of like a 6-7-inch action figure. So he's been sitting on your shoulder the whole time.
AKA the size of a plushie we can market.
Maker's Mark, call me. Let's do business.
That would be amazing.
But yeah, you guys You guys find a table easy enough? Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, and now he's dead. It's gonna
Get hit with fish.
Yeah, we have to figure out. You gotta put a switch on the back of him so that he can say lines. Like I thought this was souls instead of oatmeal. Like, you can get all kinds of fun stuff. We'll record lines. Yeah, you guys find a table. After a few seconds of waiting, you do see a kind of smaller looking halfling approach your table. Kind of looks you all over and goes, morning, ladies and gentlemen. What can I get you? We got breakfast. Not quite ready for lunch yet. Hello? Am I playing to an audience of none?
Could
Yes,
I get?
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, do you need
I'll
like
get,
menus or something? I don't got many menus, but I can tell you we got it everything. We got eggs, we got bacon, we got all major beef, pork products. We got some spider hide if you want to eat some spider hide. Just got a fresh cut of salmon in not too long ago. It's still on ice. Got orange juice, chocolate milk, regular milk, spider milk. Don't recommend spider milk. Let's see here. Every kind of pancake, waffle, biscuit, muffin. All major foods and fruits, whatever you need, we got you. What can I do you for?
I'll have 2 pancakes and a side of bacon.
All
Some
right, small
apple
stack,
juice.
side of ham, apple juice. Yeah,
You got it?
we can do apple juice. We can do apple juice. I got to juice the apples, no problem. I can do that. What about the rest of yous?
Can I get some savory oatmeal, couple
Oatmeal?
of egg yolks, and,
Sure.
Yeah, oatmeal.
You want egg whites or egg yolks?
Egg yolks, please.
Egg yolks. Okay, yeah, fancy. You're from the city, huh? All right. Let's see here. But you want any brown sugar in that oatmeal?
Yes, please. And can I get a few pieces of bacon, please?
A few pieces of bacon. Yeah, okay. Put some extra pork on the table. What about the rest of yous? He flips to page 2.
Could I get like 3 orders bacon, 3 orders of sausage,
3 orders bacon, 3
some of that spider hide,
spider head, sure,
and
okay.
a couple of glasses of orange juice?
Couple. I mean, you want to just bring a pitcher of orange juice?
Orange juice would be great.
I just bring a
Y'all
pitcher of
got
fucking orange juice.
champagne?
Okay. Huh?
Y'all got champagne?
Champagne. He looks out towards like the open door. He's like, "It's better." Oh, you're gonna do like a mimosa type of deal? Yeah, I probably rustle. But I mean, it's not. We're not supposed to really hand out alcohol to travelers, but maybe you toss me a
Tell
coin or
nobody.
two. Maybe figure out getting you a bottle.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You take care of me, I take care of you, bud. All right, so 3 orders of bacon, 3 orders of sausage, pitcher of orange juice, a bottle of happiness. I got you there. That is it for you, Chief.
I'll do it for me.
All right, and Miss Tall, Dark, and Handsome, what's up? What do I need for you?
Let's take a waffle, side of bacon, and some.
Waffle, side of bacon. You guys like your bacon? Leading cause of heart disease in this country is red meat, but so be careful with the grease and all that other stuff. Just be careful what you're eating and putting in your body. You don't even tell me. I ain't named Jenny. Anyway, waffle, side of bacon. You want a drink?
Take some chocolate milk.
Some chocolate milk, good for you. Okay. Anything else for you?
Nope.
All right. And he flips through it and he goes, all right, so I got a side of bacon, 3 sets of bacon. We're just gonna give you the whole pig. 3 things of sausage, waffles, pancakes, small stack, orange juice, apple juice, pitcher of orange juice. Flips through, goes, just looks about it. All right. I think your total's gonna be.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, you hear like Bartholomew go, I just want goes, oh,
We have one more.
sorry about that. Hey, Slim, missed ya. Flips to the 3rd page. What can I do you for? Goes, I would like, and like looks to Orville and goes, can I borrow some money for breakfast?
Why, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
I will order what he ordered. Goes, 3 and a whole pitcher of orange juice. He goes, yeah, that. Goes, all right, sure, whatever you say, Slim. Okay. And flips through it. He goes, all right, so bottle of sunshine's gonna run you gold and a half. Rest of this here brings your total to 2. So 2 gold, 2 silver. I get you all taken care of today. You want to prepay for that, or you want to wait until afterwards?
We can
I'll hand
handle
it
it
over.
now. So there you go.
All right, you hand him 2 gold, 2 silver. Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right.
Finally.
He looks at it. He goes, "Oh, exact change. All right." Hey, kind of like tucks it in his like apron.
Morgan.
He goes, I'll get this all set up for you folks real quick.
You
Hey.
don't want to forget gratuity.
I figured I'd leave it on the table when we leave.
It's fair. So he walks off, and you hear him kind of call out, and you see this big, again, tall, stone-bodied cook. He goes, "Hey, I need a pig and a half. I need 3 babies. I need an entire pitcher." And he like starts calling out all these like random things. He's like, "I need a short stack. I need a large stack with holes in it. I need one of them swirly dealies, and I need a bottle of happiness." He goes, "Got it coming up." And you hear and like starts cooking, and you start hearing the sizzling going through, and like your breakfast being made, and starts going through and kind of like getting everything prepared for you guys. Anything you guys want to do while breakfast is being prepared?
Orville would like to follow up and make sure he gets that piece of spider hide.
Sure. You like keep doing the and you see him walk past. You're like, "Oh," and he walks past. You finally call out to him. He goes, "Oh yeah, hey chief, what do you need?"
I think I stumbled on asking for the spider hide, if you don't mind.
He flips through his book. He goes,
Hand him a couple of silver pieces.
he takes it and goes, "Right, do it proper, chief. Sorry about that." And he
Oh, no worries.
goes and tucks it in his apron. Walks over, goes, "Hey, I need a lady low." He goes, "I need 2 lady lows. In fact, the slim guy wants to order 2." He goes, "All right, got it." And you see like 2 like this like almost like thorax of this like spider, like this very large looking like spider thing. He chops it in half, this big butcher cleaver, and you just hear up on the grill, and they start like kind of like crackling a little bit, and you can see like the skin kind of molting off in various directions as he starts kind of like cutting and cracking over pieces of butter, salt, and pepper. But yeah, before long, your breakfast is served. This kind of massive assortment. As breakfast is all kind of sat in front of you, you guys enjoy. It is a delightful meal. Buddy only cries 3 times over how delicious a warm meal is. But yeah, you guys managed to enjoy a rather great breakfast. And for it, you note that the quality is not as good as like what you would have found even at like local home cooking. It is kind of slapdash and thrown together. There's little things that need more fixing. It's very kind of like, it is warm, it is food, it's you're eating diner food. You're gonna definitely feel some clearance coming out of this meal afterwards. But for now, delightful, very greasy.
Good old egg splatter.
But yeah, so breakfast is consumed. The 5 of you gain 5 temporary hit points for the day for having a proper meal.
Oh my god, that's so much health for Buddy.
Yeah, Buddy's like, so he doesn't eat hot meals very often. But yeah, so as you do that, you note there is a guard that kind of has been eyeing your table since the beginning of breakfast. After you guys are kind of like wrapping up, your halfling waiter kind of walks up and goes, "Oh, so yeah, everything come out all right? You guys have a good one?" All right. Good. So, yeah, everything's good. Okay, good. Yeah, you can just leave your dishes on the table. We'll clean it up afterwards. Whenever you guys are ready, just, skedaddle, call it a day, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
JJ is going to hand him 2 gold.
He takes it and he's like, what's this for? You tipping me 2 gold on a 2.5 check? What are you, like, wanted
Yes.
motorers or something? Who'd you kill for this gold?
The service was just good.
Look, I'm being real
Yeah.
with you. No. Let me speak real quick. I'm be real with you. I thank you. I'm flattered, but I got a wife and 3 kids at home, okay, lady? So appreciate it all the same. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. My kids are gonna love going to college. Okay, thank you. and like takes the 2 gold and like tucks it in his pocket, like isn't so offended that he whatever, but definitely has like this like weird vibe of like, strange woman handed me the cost of their whole bill for 5 people as a tip. That's where he's like, shit, okay. But he kind of wanders off. You see as he exits, this guard kind of walks up to you, walks up to the table and looks you all over, and you can see this kind of like stone-faced look upon this individual. Again, still bearing these kind of like elven descent, but much shorter ears, kind of matching more towards leaning where Morgan is, and kind of looks you all over and goes, dreadfully sorry. I couldn't help but notice many of you are well armed and equipped, and you bear a striking resemblance to someone I was told to keep an eye out for. Might you be the Seekers?
Yes, we are.
Very good then. A Miss Agatha made it a point to keep an eye out for individuals matching your description, albeit we were expecting a satyr and a hobgoblin, not another elven individual. If you are quite finished with breakfast, might I escort you to private council?
Is everyone ready? Yes, thank you very much.
All right. So, you guys follow this guard throughout the majority of the fort. You arrive onto a long, kind of like wooden ramshackled elevator. You see him kind of turn and look and goes, 4th floor. And there's a kind of like not so much hunched, but like lumbering individual that seems to bear some type of either Goliath or giant's blood within them. And goes, 4th. And goes, and starts slowly pulling this like pulley rope system, and you can see this kind of like Rimshaw kind of like machine pull and pull and pull. Every so often you're hearing like clicking sounds as it locks into place every like dozen feet or so. Over the course of the next 10-15 minutes or so, you finally arrive on the 4th floor. It kind of like clicks into place, and you see the guard kind of like look you all over and goes, please, right this way. And heads off and starts kind of leading over. The 4th floor of the Fort Osen actually feels less like a habitative area or a trade area, and more like offices. You look and you're seeing like rows of like small short pathways, many like half walls that have been built up and erected, a number of desks and individuals that are all sitting there with like helmets or cloaks strewn over their large chairs. Many of them are filling out paperwork or other things of that sort. It seems to be kind of like the guard station, but you get this kind of like middle management office life vibe from it. The guard leads you all past most of this floor up to what appears to be just kind of like a walled off kind of like glass sectioned room, and kind of like looks over and sees a woman sitting at a large oaken desk with a number of like items all strewn over the desk, like boxes and the like, and 2 other individuals that are sitting in the room with her, kind of sat on the far left of her area. As the guard kind of like waves in and knocks, you see her kind of like beckon this individual in, and he cracks the door open and goes, I'm sorry to bother you, Agatha. The individuals you requested, I confirmed upon their interaction this morning. They've had breakfast and are ready to meet with you. And you hear, all right, yeah, go ahead and send them in. He goes, very good, very good. He closes the door and turns to you all and goes, Seekers of Gulanti, if you would be so kind, Agatha will see you now, and I thank you so much for coming calmly and complacently.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll just head in.
And he kind of adjusts his cape and like trails off. You see like immediately makes for the elevator and like starts heading down. As you kind of like wrap your knuckles and open up the doorway, you see a small, kind of short, this very large chair, and a smaller statured woman bearing gnomish descent, who looks like this, who is sat at a table. Far to the left of her, you see 2 individuals who are Dun 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 dun. One is a rather tall woman. Even seated, you know that she probably stands well over 6 foot tall. Clad in silver hair with random braids that have feathers kind of running through them, clad in armor and vestments of some kind, with bright hazel eyes, having a small kind of like feeling or aura about her very being. Sat beside her is a rather curious looking individual, a person who, there we go, is also kind of sat like this gnomish woman, where the chair seems to be much larger than they are. You can hear a groan as in shifting as the bulk of what this individual is seems to be like dwarven smithed armor, this very heavy suit of plate mail. But those of you perceptive enough can see that there are 2 little purple feet that hang off the side of the chair being much too tall for his feet to hit the ground. There is a draconic look to the scaled face of this bright purple patterning. But the armor itself seems to almost consume this individual, where many of you trained in nature might recognize that kobolds are anywhere between 30 to 35 pounds. This individual is bending the 4 legs of this chair, and you can't tell if it's truly the plate mail or just how absolutely thick and swole this person is. It kind of looks as if you took a suit of linked and locked dwarven armor and slapped a kobold's head on for a helmet, so much as it looks as anything else. The face is weathered and scarred, and you can see that there are a number of piercings through his septum and the top of his right ear. So with that, we have 2 individuals here. Let's see if we can figure that out. I can do this, right? Boom. And, can I do it? Can I do it? Oh, no, there's that one. There's this one. There we go. Boom. And boop. And boop. Here we go. Hey, look at that. I figured it out. So yes, you see these 2 individuals, Celeste, this woman of kind of strange and mysterious origin, and a very, very rotund individual whose name we'll get to soon, but definitely a kobold of some kind. Who knows? Yes, you all kind of walk in. You see this gnomish woman look to you all and kind of like look you up and down, and she goes, When my friend called and said that I was to expect a number of individuals, questionable origins, I had assumed I was getting something to remark upon. I was not expecting the seekers to be so curious. Please, have a seat. My name is Agatha. Agatha Lupin. We have much to discuss here, I think. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break. It's 8:53 right now, so we will come back. Let's shoot for 7 minutes. So we'll come back right at 9 o'clock. How's that sound? Sound good, everyone? Cool. So yeah, we will be right back. We'll find out who these new people are, who Agatha is, what's their purpose, why are they here. We've had 2 people sit on cameras all night without saying a word. God bless them. But, you got to start somewhere, kids. You got to pay your dues before you can be a star. Anyway, we'll see you guys in just a bit. Peace. Hey, look at that. We got back. We got here in one. We didn't have any mistakes. That's good. So, thank you guys for checking us out after the break. I do appreciate it. I should do clap. Boom. Hi, YouTube. Welcome back. Second week after the break. If you're still here for catching us live on Twitch, you level 20 characters, all 4 or 5 of you. I do appreciate y'all. So yeah, cool to check out, cool to see, cool to have fun with me. And of course, Seekers Lawn T. Look, that almost rhymes. I'm getting better at it, I swear. So before the break, we all get to see kind of the group wake up, come to terms with what has happened the previous day, speak to one another a bit more calmly, and kind of just take things a day at a time. After enjoying a delicious breakfast within Fort Osun, rather a greasy spoon breakfast, which can be delicious in its own way, but I won't put that pressure on everyone. There are no societal pressures to have this breakfast perform. Simply put and simply to say, it was a breakfast to start the day. Look, we're rhyming all day. The group has now arrived at the 4th floor of Fort Osen, wherein they have found a glass-boxed room with a large door. Seated inside is a rather small, but we won't say small. That's sizest, ableist. She is a gnomish woman of current stature and standing, sat at a large kind of meeting table, befitting that of most. Not interrogations, we won't say, but definitely within the order and what you would find within a guard station or a well-funded police station in most places. Sat at a far table, we have 2 individuals, both clad in armor, the pair of them being a kobold, a purple-skinned kobold that seems to be kind of bunched up within a big suit of dwarven armor made fit for a size medium creature, while still being small in his own right, perhaps. And a rather tall woman that seems, unlike the other 2 companions within this small room, to be dwarfing in a way, in her own dwarfing way. The chair that she sits in seems to be a very big, 6 foot tall or taller, even seated. There is a shine to who she is. They are currently yet unknown to our party for the Seekers of Galanti, but they won't be unknown to you. If you look on that side of the screen, I've revealed all their stuff. So, boing loins. You can spoil it for yourself, or you can wait for them to introduce yourself. I trust you level 20 characters. Wink. All right, cool. So that is where we were at before break, and that's where we are at right now. So, as you all enter this room, you file in, you see Bartholomew kind of like gingerly close the door behind the group and click things into place. There are a row of chairs on the opposite side of this meeting room. And you see Agatha, this gnomish woman, kind of stare you all down and look you all over, stating openly that you were not exactly how she pictured this group that her friend had informed her about, and kind of looks you kind of like tip to toe, and she goes, "Now, I was rather curious to find a number of things are missing in this group. I don't mean to be terribly rude. I have introduced myself. I hope to hear introductions from you. Please have a seat. We have much to discuss."
As I go to take a seat. Yes, thank you, Mr. Lepon. I am Velithu Dowenvey, and I am the leader of the Seekers of Galanti.
A leader, are you? I had made mention that there were 2 leaders in the Seekers of Galanti.
We have suffered a great loss and had another of our numbers choose to return to their home.
Unfortunate. The call of a Seeker is a heavy burden for what I've been told. I've never subscribed to much notion myself. I prefer to go where the money is. And currently, that may be you. Yet to be proven, of course. Well met, leader of Seekers of Galanti. How about the rest of you?
Orville will approach and extend a handshake.
She kind of like looks and like you would have to walk, like this table's so long, you'd have to walk around the table to shake her hand. Is that what you want to do? Okay. You walk all the way around and you look and you can kind of get like a good view of her chair now. You note she's sat on like 2 big books so that she's like high up enough in the chair to like be at the table, and she kind of like curiously looks at you. She goes, "Rather curious of a goblin." She reaches her hand out and shakes your hand, kind of like, and doesn't do so as would be befitting like a lady of like the realm. Like she doesn't do like the cupped fingers. She full on like grabs your hand and like big firm business person grip.
Perfect.
Yeah. And she goes, "Goblin, Orville Judd."
Orville J. Lee Judd III, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes. Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Orville. Please have a seat.
Absolutely, man. Thank you much.
Seeing Orville get...
Oh. Go for it, Kobold. Yeah. Seeing Orville? I heard you. Yeah.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah,
I
good.
didn't light up on my screen.
No, that's all right.
So, seeing Orville get up, he starts to wiggle out of his chair and plops down and goes over before he's able to sit down and extends his hand. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Name's Colbo Jones.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Cobalt Jones. As I said, my name is Orville J. Lee Judd III. And,
Yeah, okay. And then he's gonna just, like, drop the handshake, like, really quickly and walk around and start trying to shake everyone's hand. Yeah, we gotta give everyone a handshake here. We're all players in this. Hey, he grabs the next hand, so on and so forth, down the line.
Mr. Jones.
Hang on. I'm introducing myself.
I was going to do... You know what? Understood. You know, for the money I'm paying, go right ahead, Mr. Jones. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, okay, thanks. And then, again, just continues and does his rounds, and then goes and sits back down.
You shake everyone's hand who will let you shake their hand. You get to Bartholomew, and he's like, "Oh, wow. Look at you. You're like a little metal man. Are you a head with a metal body, or a metal body with a living head? How does that work?"
I'm Colbold Jones.
Colbold Jones. Is that like... Well, that's your race. But then, so your name is Jones.
No. Colbold Jones. The Colbold. Colbold's my name.
You're named Colbold.
Yeah.
You know, I once knew a kobold that was named after their station too. So that, I wonder if that's just... Okay, sure. Nice to meet you, Mr.
Don't think
Kobold.
too much into it, buddy. It's all right. It's all right. And then he just keeps going.
He like walks in, he's like, thinking, I'm gonna think about, okay, bye. I'm Bartholomew Iridan, thank you. He goes and like, Bartholomew like slides his chair out and then like gingerly sits in it and you hear a creaking. JJ, can you roll just a general D20 at disadvantage? Call it a luck check.
Be an 8.
You said an 8?
Yup.
Okay. You hear the chair bend and kind of creak, but Bartholomew sits, kind of like hops and skips and slowly slides in. You see the chair kind of like wobble a little bit, but it stays together and seems completely fine. As Kobold Jones does what I assume to be a chihuahua getting back into a tall chair, with his big armor and like wiggling feet as he pulls himself back up into this chair with a pad in it. You see Agatha kind of turn and look to you all and go, "So that is Kobold Jones. We will discuss him later." Wow. Apologies. Orville, leader of
That's
the
all good.
Seekers. No, it's quite alright. It's quite alright. You two, I heard Bartholomew Iridan. One of you I assume is Morgan, and the other one I assume is JJ, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I am JJ. She'll give like a soft bow.
Right then. Well, nice to meet you, and that leaves you, miss, if you would like to introduce yourself.
I'll nod. So yeah, I'm Morgan Quinlan.
Nice to meet you, Morgan. As I was going to say, the two individuals in the room are, well, the best that I could find on such short notice within the boundaries of Fort Osen, and they come as a bit of a package deal, you might say. Your lady alluded to the fact that you might need help for an ongoing conflict. There are a number of things I think we do need to discuss rather urgently, and I know that time is money and I don't mean to waste yours. Simply put, I want to make it known here that I am an ally of your lady, a friend. We go way back. Primarily, she is the dominant force in the jeweling world, of which I also do business, and that is why we are here, not because there's an illusion of safety here in the station, but more that I wanted you to know that where we are at is beyond the reach of most normal people. Is that understood? Good. What you will speak of here is to be held in confidence, and of that I hope to earn your trust in that manner. While I am an old friend of your patron, I am still nevertheless a new face in the crowd for you, but I want you to know that while your lady has allies, they are not exclusive to her. I hope to hear great things and do great business with you all one day. Good. That being said, our two wonderful individuals to hear, as I was informed and instructed that your group would be embarking on a most precarious and dangerous venture, are the two most tenured individuals here within Fort Osen that are willing and able to at least hear your request for aid. Enough money was traded through hands and means and debts paid, and she looks at Kobold Jones, to a number of individuals for destruction of property charges, that they are very welcome here at this table and no doubt capable of handling themselves. But I will, of course, save those introductions and pleasantries for themselves. You, of course, have met Mr. Kobold Jones, a distinguished fighter in his own right, whose blade has been sung throughout the southern lands of Aurelia, whose dwarven upbringing and heritage has been remarked upon by many in association within Fort Osen, and of course whose loyalties lie to his own interests, which of course makes him flexible, as you can see. Beside him is the Lady Celeste, but I don't mean to take the stage from you. Please, Celeste, these individuals here are the Seekers of Galanti who we spoke with before. They are members who have been chosen by the Realm Weavers, of all people, to seek out and do work across the Everwield, to change things for their desire, or for the better, perhaps. Who can truly say? Please introduce yourself to them, Celeste, lest you sit in silence. We're back.
So I'm Celeste. Oh, we're doing this Weaver Chosen thing again? We're more Weavers?
More Weavers, yes. As we discussed, they are individuals possessed of a great purpose and on a mission from the King of Silverhearth. Although rumor and current events would have you believe that you're not in too great of standing with the King's court. Although there are a number of lesser nobles that speak your name in praises.
So we found ourselves a bit caught off guard with some individuals who have so keenly manipulated our names into what I can only assume be the King's ears.
I think we can rest assured a bit, at least from the few whispers I've heard, that it's not yet reached the King. If it were, we'd be having a completely different conversation. But yes, Celeste, they are Weavers Chosen. They are individuals possessed of the spirit of the gods themselves. How fun.
So they say.
So they assume. Truly a remarkable thing to follow blindly the ideals of religion.
I would call it blindly following the wills of religion so much as following one's own will.
Oh yes, your own will. Celeste, you know all about your own will, don't you?
Yeah, I guess, Jonesy, you know about this, right?
Yeah, whatever.
You see here, Miss Downbay, Cobalt Jones and Celeste are a duo I came across fairly recently, and was very intrigued for hearing that they were even here in Fort Osun to begin with. They're renowned, you see, having done several different adventures in the service for the good of all, believing and subscribing much to the idyllic notion of Weaver's Chosen. But it's not panning out for everyone, and it's not truly something many are willing to die for. They both have had their time. They both have tasted that power that many speak of, and saw to it that their own needs and desires were far beyond that of sponsorship and heroics and ascension. World needs people the same as anywhere else. I hope you don't look down upon that sort of thing, Miss Dowenbay.
We can all only follow our own callings.
Yes. So let us discuss your calling, for I am rather curious, having heard from my ears that the Lady Gulanti had a group not only possessed of non-humanoids, well, humanoids I should say, but non-humans, sorry to speak, that were leading around parading with the pleasantries and resounding sponsored approval of noble families from Orskath. Is not something you come across every day in local business. There are a number of people who speak rather highly of you within Iskander, and there are a number of people that I have heard have cursed your names across those halls before going quite silent. So, it bears asking in mind. Your lady informed me you were tasked with following up on the things far to the northeast, but my ears and friends alike within the trading industry have informed me of a differing opinion, that of a potential of defeating individuals who are currently possessing Ren's Fork and the Steamlands. What do you have to say about that? What is it that your little accompaniment of so-called heroes is truly after in this game?
Yes, when we were dispatched to Silverhearth, it was under the assumption that we would be assisting or dealing with this matter in King's Plummet, but the King's son chose to take that into its own hands. After which, our request changed, and it was put upon us to go and investigate Ren's Fork and Steamfields, where previous fools failed to notice how much was wrong there.
Now, I want to be rather clear here. When you say wrong, are you confirming that there is great evil in this area, or is it simply a matter of opinion, being a Weaver's Chosen?
There is great manipulation.
Now, is that evil, or is that manipulation? I'll allow you a moment to consider that. Mr. Jones.
Damn.
Kind of like,
Oh yeah, what?
yeah, the snacks that I provided were for everyone. You can share the basket, sir.
He just hands like a half-eaten sandwich over. Like, anyone want a bite?
I don't think. And like as you're like, anyone want to bite?
Yeah, okay.
You're like, yeah, okay. And you see Bartholomew kind of like, yep, yep. That's your sandwich, sir. That's your sandwich. Not hungry after breakfast at all.
Pass it here, Jonesy. Pass it here.
You passing the other half a sandwich. But she looks to you and she goes, Mr. Jones, I believe you have expert opinion on the tasks and duties of the Weaver's Chosen. Would you say that in your time working as an agent of such sorts, you found much evil that you were able to destroy, or was it merely your ability to change the world that guided you?
Well, listen here. Evil, completely subjective, okay? Let's just get that out of the way first. You don't know what's evil until it's too late, alright? But then secondly, this whole chosen, is a bunch of bullshit, okay? So, you just do good when you can, and you figure out if you did good when it's too late. That's it.
Remarkably simple, yet poignant, I would say. In this instance, Mr. Jones, we, of course, want to welcome our dear friends who believe them to be goodly and godly, and second only to the Realm Weavers, of course, as a favor is owed and a favor is meant to be paid. And she turns back to look to Velithil and the group. She goes, and in that favor, I am rather curious about this instance of manipulation. You state it prominently, you state it proudly, but how truly do you intend to rectify these issues?
There's such focus on the word evil, but I don't believe I ever used it.
Is that not what weavers do? Please, enlighten us. The three of us have only heard whispers, rumors, and innuendo, belaying your true cause. And as you say, you were tasked with one thing, but now find yourselves in another. I want to help my friend, of course, but I don't want to expend resources to people who don't have a plan. I like a business I can invest in. I don't like trouble for no reason.
I won't put on airs or pretend like I know every detail of what is going on, but I do know that the Black Ram of the Steam Fields has enchanted many individuals, including the Baron of Wren's Fork, and their people have effectively taken control of it. Perhaps we should consider it theirs now. But to me, the harm that the Black Ram has caused to my group, no, I don't think that I could view him as anything other than evil. If you really want to put that word upon it.
Well, the world is not so black and white, but your ambition and drive and your group seem to be possessed of a want to accomplish a goal. I think it is owed a bit of explaining, apologies, to the three of us, if we are to be your assistants in this rather gruesome matter.
What would you like to know?
Well, she turns to Cobalt Jones and Celeste. She goes, where do you think we should start? What would you want to know, my dear friends?
Yo, what's your problem with giants?
That is rather well put. There is a rumor on the wind. As you've put it, the Black Ram of the Steam Fields is this manipulative individual. I personally have a number of dealings of people who know that name within my circles, and a number of individuals of rather stone-heavy skin have spoken of seeing things. More particularly, there is a rather curious individual, short in stature but bold in his dealings, that has spoken very positively of the Seekers of Gulanti, but had made mention of the death of a very rare individual at your hands. Would you care to explain?
It is a difficult thing when tasked from one kingdom that I do not know well to deal with what they view as a problem, and then to come to discover the plight of these giant kin. No, I do not have a problem with giants, and were that I could make it happen, I would see these giants have some or a great deal of their land returned to them if they truly hold right to it. But I don't see a giant leading them. I see the Black Ram, who is using their rightful claim to his own needs and the wants and furtherments of his people. I did not see giants taking home in Ren's Fork. I saw his people taking control of it.
And why do you think that is?
Well, this major trade route would be rather alarming.
No, I
Wouldn't it?
mean, specifically, if you've not thought it over well enough, why do you think specifically there aren't giants taking over Ren's Fork? The thing that everyone believes to be dead and gone, banished from the world, and are nothing more than a fairy tale to frighten young children within Silverhearth. I believe I've asked a question that bears a lack of rebuttal. You see, Miss Dowenvey, the world far south, although you have been removed from it for some time, is one that is still possessed of thinkers, worshippers at a time of Sifdos, but now individuals possessed of the knowledge and the seeking therein of seeing the true workings of the world. In very commonplace, if what you say is true, and if what I am seeing in my reports and what I know to believe from a very, very dear loved one who has spoken to me about this is to be believed, then I can see from a military standpoint that even a single giant having their name, visage, and look shown to the world would warrant a much swifter retribution. If truly this is the goal of these giants, then why wouldn't you use a third-party force? I would. A single giant was seen and slain by Weaver's Chosen, by gnomish eyes, no less. Reported and spoken in hushed circles, and who has this information is very limited, of that you can be rest assured, but to me it is, in essence, seeing the death of a truly remarkable and legendary creature, the last likely of their kind, being taken from this world, of which I cannot sit idly by without addressing those consequences of. If you mean to do battle with this Black Ram, I want to know, as a financier and someone willing to help you, what his motivations are, what his goals actually are, and if he is ruling over giants, how that was accomplished.
That is very much so what I would like to know as well. As I said, I don't harbor a will against them, and I wish I truly understood them better.
Very good. So to that, your goals. What comes next? Say I help you. Say Celeste here would brandish her weapon. Let her armor break foes against it. What would you have us do? What would you have us assist you in? A campaign? A war? Against the Seam Fields and those who inhabit it? What comes next for you, Seekers of Galanti?
That was my intention, to find the ram and deal with him.
So it is revenge?
That certainly is part of it.
I believe we could all bear knowing what it is that has instilled such hatred within you. From an objective standpoint, and perhaps I'm wrong here, and she turns and looks to Celeste and goes, Miss Celeste, there is a story that I once heard regarding defending oneself and how you've had to take lives in the past. With this, do you see this as something truly that a weaver, chosen or otherwise, need be the driving factor in?
I don't think revenge is what you're after. I don't think that's what you truly want. At least I hope not. Not Weaver's chosen. Is that what you're looking for?
Looking to make the world a better place, but the world is not simple. And to me and what I have dealt with, in faces of how I have seen the Ram use other people and create subterfuge and manipulation, and yes, in battle, losing a great companion of mine, I do view it as just to deal with him.
And the rest of you feel the same.
Part of me does want that revenge as well. But I'm not sure after that. I don't think our plan was to, rid the steam field of the giants as well. I think most of all the information that we've gotten in terms of the issues around Ren's Fork and whatnot do have to do with the Black Ram. But again, who knows? All we've heard mostly are notes from the human kingdom.
Yeah, history's written by the victors.
And,
Well said.
Picking up on that hearsay that JJ had mentioned, Ms. Agatha brought up quite a number of points here. That there are a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to the Black Ram and his dealings, his working, his goals. And while I certainly do stand for, striking back and standing up for ourselves, I think that, marching on in there, hooting and hollering, just straight in there might not be the most appropriate of responses. I think that maybe some homework might need to be done before such actions be taken.
And you, Miss Quinlan?
I think that I agree with Orville on this. We don't necessarily know what we'd be walking into, as much as I want to avenge Colt.
Avenging a fallen warrior, a friend, is truly a noble cause, which I can support. But this talk of subterfuge, this talk of deceit, this talk of influence, it reads both ways, and I think you are smart enough to know that. Speak of war crimes, sure, of this Black Ram that we have heard of, and here in the South have reports of a freedom fighter who has gone by that moniker, who seeks an uprising of historic proportions to take power away from the well-sullied seat of the King of Silverhearth. Can you, in good faith, say that any ruler can accomplish their goal without a good dealing and healthy amount of deception, subterfuge, and misunderstanding of peoples. I, for one, remember a number of stories as a little girl about how the kings of Silverhearth needed to reclaim the lands of Ravan because it was their divine right to do so. What a beautiful lie that is. I hurt for you. I weep for you. The choices of Weavish Chosen are not simple. They are not easy. I merely ask you this. I have given your lady my promise that I will arm you, equip you, and do my best to finance you, provided I am repaid in due time, and find you abled individuals willing to stick it out with you in the fight, if this is truly where you mean to stick in this world. I merely hope that I can offer insight for consideration of such things, that you might look at the bigger picture at large. You killed a giant, a race of people we've not seen for decades, or at least openly so. They killed one of your friends, a Weaver's Chosen, no doubt a great and devastating loss in your hearts, and for that you have my deepest condolences. But one does not burn down a grove full of unicorns and calls that a victory for most. Do you want to be remembered for those who slew the last of giant kind? It is a title they will sing of you, but it's all dependent on how you want to be viewed and by whom. That is all I ask you to consider.
What do you suggest?
I suggest you leave this up to politics. I suggest you take my influence. You allow me to speak on your behalf about this grievous misunderstanding, and that I beg your eternal forgiveness on your behalf from this Black Ram. You allow politics to take place. You allow diplomats to speak. He has suffered losses. You have suffered losses. You are Weaver's Chosen. You are not an army. You are not a war band. You are not meant to be wielded for justice. In certain senses. At least in as large a theater as this is. And you do what it is you've been meant to do. The Lady Galanti informs me that you have accepted a mission to seek out and find information on Ren's Fork. I believe this constitutes as information. You leave from this, walk away, and everyone gets to live. And you complete whatever outstanding debt you might have to the king and his people, and return home to Deerwood. Your lady so desperately misses you. There are a number of things left undone, and much work to be done for Weaver's Chosen that hopefully are less muddy than this instance. I understand King's Plummet was on the table for discussion, and is part of the reason why Celeste here has brought herself before this table. The interest in that place is historic, and it is one that is enough to bring interested parties to the table to join you.
If I could ask,
Of course.
what does Miss Celeste have an interest in King's Plummet for?
She turns and gestures to Celeste. I will speak on your behalf, my darling, but if you prefer to speak yourself, you're more than able.
No, you go ahead.
Of course.
I think you got this.
Well, I don't mean to paint a picture, but as you can see, there is little love from Cobalt Jones and Celeste for the mark and remarks of Weaver's Chosen. They've been in this game, this racket, for quite some time. Told from birth, they were heroic, powerful even, able to evolve and grasp at those few glimmers of energy and prowess that the Weavers left in their wake. That one day, if they were good little kobolds and good little girls, they might ascend to heaven. What a beautiful picture that paints. But we all know the story of Cain. We all know of the fall from grace, of the one who ascended to the heavens and crashed into the earth, decimating it and creating a hole in this world, the likes of which we have never seen before. Celeste was raised on stories of that, as far as I have been told, about the fall of the one who would ascend to the throne of the Weavers and fall short. That corruption, that godly might, that blood of the angels themselves, those chosen few that called Cain the next coming of the gods, runs strong within Celeste. To have an
Yeah,
ancestor.
plus it's like a super deep and like probably haunted pit. What's not cool about that?
It is pretty cool.
Well, it's filled right now.
Yeah,
Indeed. A black tower has ascended from its depths. Not fill it, but certainly existing within it. Curious natures, all considered. The voice of some maniac known as Montserrat continues to be played out throughout the entirety of the steam fields and southern lands themselves. Even here we can hear their hushed whispers every morning. Bears curiosity. That is something that I find remarkable. The struggles and plight of a dying race on their last breath, I think, is far and away unworthy of the use of Weaver's Chosen. The King of Silverhearth and his people want to use you as a weapon to deal with their problems that they have had coming for generations. I will not tell you not to be that weapon. I merely ask that you consider the alternatives.
I just have one request then.
Please.
If you take on this diplomacy and you find that the ram is truly as wicked as I believe him to be, that we be the ones that you call upon to deal with him.
I think in this instance, we have a differing of opinion as to my capacity for this matter. I do not mean to make peace with the ram. No, I bear him no ill will. I merely mean to step in on your behalf and apologize profusely for the damage that you have done. This individual, again, is known in the South. These last few years of Aurelian history has been seen in this young man who hid his face away behind an iron mask and sought to unite not only the western tieflings here on the continent, but also many of the fey folk from the forest, found the ancient tribes, united them under a banner, and if what I am hearing is true, has found the last few standout hopes for Giantkin, and means to do something about it. Now, by means you call nefarious or otherwise, that is something a hero would do to me. I simply mean to clear up this messy business and, of course, redeem your good name in the light of all, instead of the eyes of some.
What do you each say then? I look to my party. Do we leave this be?
What a whirlwind of thoughts on this today.
Yeah.
I guess what we were looking for though was the true outside thoughts.
If we do let Lady Pond handle this, we sure walk out of it with our hands a whole lot cleaner than what we came into here. Our hands looking like. That certainly goes for something. Is it right by Colt? Probably not. Is it right by the majority of people? Could be. Does it absolve us to go and seek Keen's Plummet and make right on our original mission from Silverhearth? Absolutely. I think there's
Bartholomew
something to that.
kind of adjusts in his chair and goes, might I speak in this matter?
Certainly.
I do not mean to profess that I know who this cult was, or the passions surrounding their passion, or passing, I should say. But from the short time that I have met you all, I know you to be rather noble, selfless, and I have faith that your decision-making is second to none. That being said, yesterday's events do hang heavy on the optics of your mission, of your group. I do not mean to question you, but you entered into a conflict through which you said this morning you lacked understanding and information of, and it led you to massacring those poor lizard folk. For the request of a friend, sure, but a friend who is no longer among us, albeit on healthier terms. I have a great joy in my heart for you seekers of Gluanti. I just want to know that you have the capacity to make choices without allowing your passions to rule you. It is not to say that I don't support vengeance. I think it is a marvelous tool. I think it motivates heroics, and I think it is the cornerstone that pushes those who have power to do something and become heroes. I just address my same concerns with those poor lizard folk. I don't like to see senseless death. Avenging your friend is grand, but what would it cost to do that, I wonder?
Damn it. Damn.
I'm going to be honest, I can't argue with that at this day, this time, after yesterday, the last 3 days.
And we're in agreement. Right?
So it would
We
say
let this matter go. We will not be the slayers of all giant kind, and we deal with the real issue that we were originally called here for.
Politics ain't Lady Galante's thing, anyways. She doesn't like to be in that kind of place.
Unless they are outstandingly profitable.
There
Mhm.
is no profit in this.
Jonesy. Jonesy. Pack your bags. We're leaving.
I don't have any bags.
That makes sense. Like, you know?
So Kynes, then. Unless more or have a thought against it.
At this point, Orville's gonna pull out a map from his pack and start looking at it.
Mhm.
Miss Agatha, just a quick question for you here.
Of course.
As I look at it,
Mhm.
get from here, Kynes Plummet, kind of have to go through the steam fields, and I just want to be clear about this, that you're going to clear up anything that might hinder our travel through the steam fields regarding certain peoples.
I think you are rather new to the area. I would see instead that you utilize what I am able to offer you, which is passage, rapid and breathtaking. I would see that if you were to abandon this crusade against the Black Ram and his people, that we would find you within Fort Pale within the evening. The white stone forts that were erected some many generations ago are all in essence linked unseeingly by arcane runes, able to be utilized to those who know where to find them for instant travel. And being that Fort Pale itself, well, currently friendly to the King of Silverhearth, it is still primarily garrisoned by those who call the lands of the south their allies. It would put you within spitting distance of the plummet and save you the hassle of having to navigate much of the area. Again, I do not mean to deter you from this quest, but there is honor in a sense to winning a war. There is speech and spoken words of heraldry for those who would end a race. If that is who you want history to remember you as, I don't mean to stop you. I simply ask that you consider your perspectives on things.
I have no interest in being the human king's blade in cutting down the last of the giants.
Mhm.
And if that is what I would have to be, to get what little solace I would out of taking down the ram, I do not want it.
And you all agree on this, then?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now then, I will do my utmost, then, to ensure that my people and our diplomatic reasoning can reach the Black Ram of the steam fields, and humbly apologize for the, we will call it, fumbling of your incursion into his very complicated game. I'm sure there is no ill will, Bor. You lost a great ally and a Weaver's Chosen, and he has suffered losses as well, and I think leaving on respectful and amicable terms is what might serve best in this instance. Very good. So then, you will make for King's Plummet, the black tower that now emanates from it, and for what I am to understand, the assistance of a would-be prince of the realm.
Yes.
I think that's rather agreeable. What do you think of that, Celeste Jones? I'm sorry, Kobold Jones.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sure. I just don't want to be going and killing no unicorns. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I know exactly what you mean. And we're not doing that.
You've
Okay.
killed a unicorn then, Celeste.
No, no.
But how would you know exactly what we mean by killing a unicorn?
I'm saying,
How many?
I know. I am saying that we're not doing that. Not again. Okay?
Was it more than one?
We're not going back out there. No, Jonesy wanted to go unicorn hunting, and I told him no. It's out of the question. He was very persistent. I tried to tell him, like, you have a better chance of seeing a giant, and he just, you know how he gets. He's a very persistent little guy.
Yes,
So you
rambunctious.
did go unicorn hunting.
No,
You just didn't find any unicorns.
we didn't go.
Didn't go.
Okay?
Hey, they don't call it killing, they call it hunting.
It's rather fair. Right then. So,
But
assuming...
anyway, 2.
There it is. Well, Mr. Kobold Jones, as you can see, is an accomplished fighter with a number of accolades that he can claim upon himself. But we will handle this diplomatic issue at hand. I have compensated Kobold Jones and Celeste for this meeting. However, any agreements you make for what is to come for your mission, including a portion of the reward or entitlement therein, is between you all. I will not further discuss that, but I will be here as an intermediary if need be. But it seems as if you've brought your own. Bartholomew looks around and goes, and has like half of a muffin in his mouth, like, oh. Yes, we could discuss terms. I think I could negotiate that for everyone to be happy.
Yeah. One second. Jonesy, sidebar.
We kind of lean into each other.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. 50-50. We get 50, they get 50. Whatever it is. You get half, they get half. You know what I mean?
That's extraordinarily greedy.
Okay. I'm sorry, what?
Look, whatever. How about this? You just get my stuff, and then we just split it evenly between everyone.
Or that. Whatever.
All right, cool.
They lean back to the table with like confirmation of a deal between themselves. You look, and Agatha kind of like looks to you all over and goes, well, as I said, I will handle this in your behest. You can assure that your good names will be cleared one way or another. There are a number of nobles, especially in the logging industry, that refuse to believe the hideous rumors being spread by the Inquisitor about you in Silverhearth. So there are a number of people to champion your names and decision-making. And with that, your Lady Galanti received a delivery of sorts, not but a day or so ago, and I was instructed to provide a portion of that in the event that you are rather low on... Well, I won't call them war funds now. I suppose I should call them supplies. But that is to be led here. And she kind of like pushes forward this like bundle that's in front of her, and she starts kind of like unwrapping it and starts like moving this like heavy set tarp, and you look, and what is inside are, if you've ever been to a casino, like these kind of like crude and like carved wooden trays that are like rounded, and like little stacks of Oreos in the package, you see just like rows of platinum coins. And she kind of slides it forward and she goes, apparently a crate or so of gold bars were arrived at the estate home, and a portion of that was, of course, taxed, taken, and otherwise transferred so that I might have these funds prepared for you in a timely manner. Your lady has provided a handsome sum of, well, you'll find it all in order here, but to save you the trouble of counting, it is 8,500 gold pieces. To be spent for whatever it is for the ends of your mission, or what have you. You will find there are a number of smiths both here and within Fort Pale, should you require equipment, gearing, or otherwise inventory of some kind or make, or to outfit whatever it might be, and of course to negotiate with your new muscle, so to speak. She turns and looks to Cobalt Jones and Celeste. Of course, what they are looking for might be different entirely than simple gold coins, but I cannot speak on their behalf in that matter. Merely getting them to the table was my part of the deal, so to speak. Additionally, she has provided, well, rather, funding to provide a rather curious item, but I managed to come across it myself. And she slides forward an ornate wooden box, and kind of like presents it. And it is a very like large box with a brass latch on the front of it. And she goes, within this box, you will find a rather antique item requiring no small amount of delicacy. But when wound properly and played, the tune that it emits will allow you to allow your voice to travel great distances. I would ask that you use it sparingly, as improper use could result in its malfunction, but it is a arcane device of gnomish nature that will put you back in contact with your good lady in requirement of such. I understand you have your own methods of that, but she was quite, well, demandant that you be provided an item that could utilize such abilities in long-distance communication. Past that, we have but a final parting gift from my company, and of course from my efforts here. And she sets down a heavy set, kind of like looking scroll case. She goes, within this, you will find a simple spell inscribed upon parchment paper that contains therein a one-time utilization of a chest beyond understanding or dimension. Within this chest, you will find a single item through which many would be greedily after should you find it. It is a obsidian figure, one of which that could provide use to your group, as it is a carving carrier, a large insectoid-like creature, quite large and able to travel across the lands, that your lady saw fit to ensure you had proper transportation. My dear uncle sends 1,000 pleasantries your way. I have never heard old Gringle speak so well of a group of individuals in my lifetime. Your lady thought you might need transportation, and Gringle thought you might need replacement for the horses what were crushed under the boulder. this is his gift to you.
I love Gringle so much.
He is a good man.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Wonderful little feller he is.
You mentioned smiths, but if I might inquire, are there any arcane scribes who might provide access to a spell book to copy spells or anything of the sort here? Scrolls?
You may find below, within the first level or second, which tends to be the marketing district for much of Fort Osen, a number of arcane-enabled individuals who might be willing to establish trade for any number of arcane spells or secrets. I cannot speak for what their availability might be, but of course, the reason that I was so rush and handsomely compensated with a promise or two to provide this funding to your group was, of course, to grease the palms of those most unwilling to do business otherwise. I was told this is not funding as much as it is supplies for the journey ahead.
Very much so. Just wondering, was anyone in particular to do business with here?
Yes, my name is Agatha, and I am the one you should always do business with here in Osen. But
Fair
as
enough.
far as arcane users, they come and go. The fort itself does not have permanent residents outside of those who captain its guards. Myself included, I only stay here for a portion of the year before returning home. I was made aware of your situation from, as I've said, my uncle. And then when a very familiar voice reached out to me, seeking assistance for her children, then, of course, I knew I had to make a stop in my otherwise busy schedule for you.
This is much appreciated.
There
And
is...
everything that you've offered to help us move on here.
There are a number of interested people in your group success. Whether you maintain your Weaver's Chosen status, whether you stay with the lady herself, there are those who speak very highly of the Seekers of Gulanti thus far. I want to continue to hear those things. It's refreshing to hear Weaver's Chosen that aren't simple murderers for the right amount of coin. It's refreshing to not have to hear a story of a man beaten to death at an inn and a helpless knave murdered in the steam fields and bled out in the lakes below. It is nice to hear of seekers that can see reason. These individuals such as yourselves that can actually hold rational conversation without allowing emotion to guide them for desecrating ancient ruins. I have high hopes for you. Having met you, you were not what I was expecting, but you're good. Kobold Jones, Celeste, I hope that whatever it is you seek in this world, you find it, and that you're able to help these people in their journey as much as they're able to help you in yours.
Yeah, you and me both, buddy.
Thank you.
Of course, Celeste. Kobold Jones, please do stay safe. Celeste, I know you will keep him as such. While we only knew each other for a short time, I do, of course, hold you in rather high regard. So, prove me right. Perhaps, while disillusioned and disenfranchised by the notion of it, you find your calling among these heroes, so to speak. Who knows? Maybe you'll surprise yourselves. It's been a pleasure, and truly I bid you all adieu. I'll leave the further points between you, your diplomat, and what might be and prove to be your new hires. Be good, Seekers of Gulanti, whatever that good might be to you. And she will kind of pop up from her chair. And with that, she will make for the door. She kind of looks over in your direction. She kind of nods. And she takes a number of like small journals and paperwork that she had sat next to her, stuffing it under her arm, opens the door and kind of like looks back to you all. And she goes, "The room is soundproof. You're welcome to it. I have greased the palms of those on this floor to ignore anything they see or come across for hearing. They are knowledgeable of your status as chosen. Well, you four. They are less knowledgeable of the previous statuses of your new interested parties. Feel free to use it as you see fit. When you're ready to take me up my offer for transport, you may find me on the 3rd floor within my home. I'll be there for the remainder of the evening as I arrange these meetings."
Thank you.
Of course. You can note my home, by the way, by the large placard outside. You can't miss it, I assure you. And she closes the door behind her, and for a moment you hear like the outside world of this chamber. You can hear the muttering and the talking and like the kind of like general office sounds of people like tapping quills and like sketching things, and you can hear like some of them like, "All right, where did he hit you?" And you can hear like them taking like witness testimony and the like from the local guard. And then as the door closes, it's like vacuum sound as it goes back to being just you guys in this room with Kobold Jones, Celeste, and your elven diplomat. And she exits. You see Bartholomew look you all over and goes, "Well, I think that went great. I am very honored to be witnessed of that. That was very good. Goodly, I should say."
Yeah, I've seen it go worse.
Oh, you've seen somebody not want to give up on vengeance for murder? Or genocide?
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. Cool. No doubt. So your first name is Kobold and last name Jones, or is it like a hyphen?
That's Kobold Jones.
So
I can't make it any easier for you.
So
Kobold Jones.
There's a space in between it.
Yeah.
Fascinating. It turns and looks to the group and goes, "I like him. I know I don't get a say in how you hire people, but I like him."
But he certainly made an impression on introductions.
Firm handshake.
Yeah, got up, shook my hand. He's got some gumption to him.
Not sure about the way Celeste silently brooded and stared at us.
I'm sure
mean,
we'll all be
we-
fast friends.
I could. Do you want me to go? Do you want me to just go?
No, we're going to negotiate, right? Like you
Jonesy?
were interested in this?
We out.
No, we'll take Jonesy. You stay right there.
I mean, whatever you say, boss.
Boss. Yeah. So you see Bartholomew kind of look over and goes, well, I did introductions earlier, but I am Bartholomew Iridan. I get paid a couple of gold coins a week, and it's pretty good. I think if you get started on a similar salary, then we could be great coworkers, and we could do great things together. I look forward and he turns and looks at Morgan and JJ and goes, is this like a middle management role where like we're bringing them in under me?
Bartholomew. I'm
Yes.
just gonna stop you right there.
Okay.
We are way too expensive for you. All right, that's not how this rolls.
Oh.
We don't do gold a week. All right.
Oh. Gold per day? How does... Miss Lightning, I think I'll leave this to you.
I'll
Miss
point out
Velithil.
to Velithil.
Yes.
Hey, you're the boss lady, right?
Yes, that is what they call me.
All right.
Never heard anyone call
So
him
anyway,
that.
let's negotiate this out. I don't really want that guy to be in charge.
Sure. Well, I guess there's the question then: is what are you looking for?
Yeah, I think we'll take a 1/6 each cut. That sounds fair.
Well, it's the same split we would have had when we had 6 before.
I mean, it makes sense.
Names are a little different, but it's just a couple scratches. Ain't nothing you can't hash out.
Wait, you're telling me that I could ask for a 1/6 share? Hold on, wait, hold on. I think I've missed something in this equation.
Too late, bud.
Yeah,
Bartholomew,
buddy.
part
here's-
of your
here's-
payment was getting you out of the hellhole you were working in, so let's just remember that.
Oh,
Right.
You saved him? He's not like one of you?
I mean, if you want to negotiate for more pay, like we can discuss it, Bartholomew, but you weren't intending on...
Well, I mean, and he turns and looks to Cobalt Jones and Celeste. He goes, I don't mean to kind of sit here and say like who did what or who's doing what, or I don't want to have any friction in the workplace with new hires. But like, you're not Weaver's Chosen, right? Like, I'm not Weaver's Chosen. I barely know how a sword works, to be truthful.
Yeah, so I prefer the term post-chosen.
What, post
Look,
chosen?
They chose us. We walked away. Okay?
That's not
They
how
couldn't
it
afford
works.
us. So,
Uh,
like you.
The wealth of the world and all the honor that is beset by its people wasn't enough for you?
Complicated.
Okay, cool.
Morgan, can I borrow you for just a second?
What's up?
I'm gonna pull Morgan aside. Can you just do me a quick favor and a demonstration for Buddy? I just need you to like pull a dagger on either Celeste or Cobalt Jones and
No.
watch if they shit their pants.
No.
Because
The
Buddy
last
said
time I did this, I was cursed, and now I'm Ant-Man. No. Absolutely not.
All right. What if I take persons off the table?
What if what?
What if I talk to Celeste and Cobalt Jones real quick, Black, and just say, hey, real quick, next 10 minutes, no curses. We need a level with Buddy. We really do.
I'm not. The last time I listened to anybody about this, it fell all on me, and now I'm hated by an entire community. I can't really go through that again.
What do you mean hated? We was chosen. They're singing your praises out there.
I'm
AJ.
singing your praises. not
I
mine.
don't
Yes,
know what's
Phil.
being discussed over there, but I think I'm very proud of at least one of them.
Is it me?
I agree.
Almost dead certain it's not me. So
I don't think I can go through that again, Orville. I think being hated by an
I like
entire
how I can lean against and we can be like
race.
ear to ear.
We're just up here. Hello.
all right, I can respect that.
I can do it to
Somebody-
Buddy, but
somebody
it
else.
would just be sad.
But
Well, no, we don't need him shitting his pants in here. It's a nice villa. We'd have to go down, 3 more floors to get the smell out.
here, Buddy. I mean, you can get paid your 2 gold salary or whatever you want. I'll be happy to pay it out of my own pocket if I have to. Whatever.
I don't mean to be disrespectful at all. I'm just saying, like, I mean, cards on the table, right? Like, and he turns and looks to Celeste and Cobalt Jones. He goes, I for hundreds of years was one of the chief diplomats of the entire Aurelian Council. I brokered peace among numbers of races. I mean, not saying my pay is terrible now, considering everything I am today. I'm just saying, I mean, Mr. Cobalt Jones, you are rather rotund. Respectfully.
Hey, buddy, did you put any of that on your resume?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you shouldn't have taken the job. But at the end of the day, we'll just go over it with the annual review. You know, we'll take a look at your salary and see if you deserve more than that.
Well, I'm not. My salary is not on the table here. I am fine and happy with what I make. I don't need to
Okay.
exchange numbers, have hearing 1/6, and seeing over 8,000 gold pieces on a table, which is more money than I've seen in my life. That is fine. I mean to ask you, why are you worth 1/6?
Buddy,
Yes.
That's actually a legitimate question. We
I'm
haven't
looking
seen
out,
them do
I'm looking
anything.
out for my seekers.
this
I
is
mean, we
fair.
have the word of someone who we should trust because Our Lady trusts her, but what are you both capable of?
What about your parents? Do you have any references?
The table. How much do I think the table weighs?
Are you trying an insight?
Yes.
Uh,
Plus 6.
Plus 6? Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll insight.
11.
11. Your strength is 18, right?
Yeah.
The table with everything on it is less than you can bench.
All right. I'll go ahead and just lift it up and spin it around a little bit.
Sure, you walk up to where Agatha was sitting. You look Bartholomew like dead in the eyes. He's like, "Are you going to move into her chair, or are you kind of like dig down deep?" And you guys see this like kobold shift down under the table, and the table shakes for a second, and you hear the and slowly the whole table rises up over this kobold's head. It kind of like it would be very impressive. However, it does also have that kind of feeling of like the live action version of The Grinch, where he throws the Christmas tree because he hates Christmas when he's a kid. It kind of has that vibe to it. So there's equal parts amazement of, wow, this kid is strong, but also he is still a purple kobold that is lifting a meeting table in a police precinct kind of deal.
Jonesy, put down the table. Put down.
No,
down.
this is just my normal
Nope.
way of holding things.
Just put it down, okay? Look,
Now, hold
it's
on.
equal cut.
This is a good
We're all-
test.
We're all. No, it's not a
Bartholomew,
good
can
test.
you
He's
lift that
lifting a
table?
He cannot lift that table.
I could,
Here,
I-
I'll go to hand it to him.
No, Jonesy.
the table like
Well, if it makes sure
slides
he doesn't get
over.
crushed.
He slides over, and you just hear this crunch as it hits. You're, and it lands on the four legs of the table, and you see like the gold coins kind of like shift around, but they're still in these kind of cases, so they don't roll over anywhere. But the scroll case kind of tilts around, and the box kind of slips and slides a little bit. And Bartholomew goes, "Okay, I can't do that. Well met, Kobold Jones."
We'll pull it off him.
Oh God.
Are you okay?
Buddy no longer has his 5 temporary hit points from the meal earlier. Since Kobold Jones has a +5 strength modifier.
Look, whatever it is,
Well,
we'll
it's
all
1
just
plus
split
4.
it evenly among all of us, and that's it.
Right.
Why are we arguing about this?
It's not an argument. Apologies. I think I got off on the wrong foot here. This is not about
It's
me.
okay.
I have known the Seekers of Galanti to be rather trustworthy people who, at times, have not discussed bringing on other individuals. I know our captain, Colt Honeycutt, was negotiated for by a single member of the group, not discussed with other individuals. I merely mean to say, if they are going to agree to these terms of 1/6 split, that you can prove why you're worth it. It's good to
Okay.
know what people are working with, so that nobody is questioning anyone else's motivations, or that you're going to have everyone kill a bunch of lizard folk in a minute. Do you personally have hate
Buddy.
in your heart or genocide?
Buddy,
Yes.
I don't mean to speak over you,
No, it's all right.
but I do have to bring up the fact that we are not salaried. We get
Right.
paid by the job. So technically,
I'm salaried.
when we get paid, they will have showed their worth.
Oh, so that's how
Buddy, we
this
didn't
works.
discuss it, but you could get a bonus at the end of a job. Like,
Oh.
Yeah,
your
you could
salary on a
definitely get a
weekly. The rest of us aren't getting that. You're the only one getting a salary.
This is not about me. I'm looking
You
out for
sound
you.
like you're making it about you.
I'm not. It's not.
I would chip into a bonus for him.
Wait,
Oh, see, look at how reasonable
who paid
she
you
is.
to chip?
Sounds nice.
And he just kind of like
We
kind of
appreciate it so much.
he brings his legs up into the chair and tucks them into his chest and leans his head down and just starts rubbing his temples. And
I
he's
will
like,
say that I
"Oh."
do agree with Buddy's reason for one thing, and Mr. Cobalt Jones has shown that he is an individual of great strength. You are very tall.
I also lift the table.
I can only presume you could, but you haven't done it yet, so I wasn't. All right, got ourselves
Good
2
job.
really good table lifters. That's with
If in
the
doubt,
word
we can lift any
of-
table. That's good news, right?
that is wonderful news.
No.
And also we have the
Buddy, he
Word
could definitely
of-
lift the table.
of last name I'm forgetting, Miss Lupin, who holds you in fairly high esteem, and Our Lady holds her in high esteem, so I believe you to be individuals of proper strength and character to handle what we are setting out to do. Am I correct in that belief?
I would say you're correct. Jonesy?
Yeah, I guess depends what happens, huh?
That's worrying. If I could say that, that's worrying.
What's worrying,
That
Bartholomew?
what Mr. Colbo Jones just said is very worrying. If
It's
if you mean to
what?
share the field
No.
of combat, and combat were to happen, it's good to know who you're working with. Are you a child murderer?
You need his name? It's Jonesy.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's just resolve that one question. Is anyone here a child murderer?
Be good to know.
Don't think.
I'm
Jonesy?
not seeing any hands. I think we're good.
What age is the
Buddy!
cutoff for children?
Wait, how old was Jimmy?
How old was Jimmy? Jimmy was he's an old kid. He's an old fella. Yeah. Jimmy was like in his
Good.
his late 100 something. young for a pixie.
Prime of his life.
Yeah, prime of his life. Taken from us too soon. No, but Bartholomew just kind of tries to express, and he's like, it would be good maybe to go around the table and get more than just who our names are, so that if you're fighting together as a team and you have to rely that someone's going to save your life and not just steal the gold out of your pocket, maybe it'd be good to know, I don't know, I have 2 loving parents back in Aurelia that hate my guts for ruining
same.
peace.
But maybe not that much. Not the same as you. Your parents definitely hate you more than mine hate me.
Thank you, Mr. Owenvey. I appreciate knowing that.
What are parents?
Sounds rough, buddy.
How about you, Mr. Jones? What is a fun fact about you? What would you want someone to know about you?
Wow. That's a deep question.
It's
Uh,
I would ask more on a first date. Yes, it's a very deep question. Yes.
my name is Cobalt Jones.
Uh,
With his face.
There's like
guess-
if smoke could come out of Buddy's ears as something breaks in his brain.
I guess here's my question to both of you, as you both seem very disenfranchised with the idea of a Weaver's Chosen, as you once, as I presume from what I've heard, both followed that path. What happened?
Alright, look. I think that the Chosen is a bunch of bullshit. Bunch of lies that they feed you to try to make you do good things. But not all Chosen do good things. That's what I've come to learn. Not all Chosen are worthy of a title, so therefore, the idea of there being a Chosen is bullshit. But what's not bullshit is doing the right thing. That's what I try to do.
That sounds about right.
I'm with him.
I mean, at the end of the day, the matters of our mortal being are more important to me than the false, potentially, idea of becoming a god or going to heaven or whatever. We don't even know if that's real. But what I do know is real is all the bad shit that's out there that I'm going to whack with my hammer.
Well, when I become a god, I'm going to look at you and say, there, that's how it's done.
That's both sweet and humble.
Thank you.
As a kobold, your race has forever served more powerful creatures than yourself. I appreciate that is humbling. All right. How about you, Miss Celeste? Do you have a family name or perhaps a fun fact about yourself?
Look, last name is Marigold, okay?
All
I
right.
know. We good?
It's a lovely last name.
Thanks.
Like the flower?
Yeah, sure, like the flower.
Okay, cool. How
Did
about
you know that if you feed chicken marigolds, gives them this beautiful orange yolk,
wait, is that for real?
like a sunrise?
Yeah, IRL nature facts.
I don't need facts, but
Brought to you by JJ Lightning.
you lived on a farm.
I didn't know, but that is good to know.
The fun fact.
It's very
Yeah.
good for the diet.
Cool. So Miss Lightning, are you from a farm? Where did you learn that from?
Yes, I
Cool.
did indeed grow up on a farm.
I didn't know that. That's cool. How about you, Mr. Judd? Any fun fact about you? Are you secretly, I don't know, a Night's Watchman or something? Or
Buddy.
okay, I'll just be in my chair.
Ah,
Clings to his legs.
I do agree with Buddy's intent here. It is important that we all have at least some understanding of each other before we march out into the field of battle. And you both seem to have interest in King's Plummet, even though you have little interest in the matters of being a Weaver's Chosen. So is it just the coin that interests you? 'Cause I've worked with individuals like that. Just kind of
Oh.
cross-look at Morgan. Or is there something more to it?
My mother was a tiefling. My father was an Azamar. So, Heinz Plummet is, it's legend.
That it
So,
is.
means something to me. Unlike apparently all of you.
I don't
Which
think
is
anyone
why-
said that.
That's why I'm here. In hopes that all of you will go.
Fair enough. Do either of you
How-
know anything more about what has happened there because of Montserrat?
Big old question mark.
I don't know what
only-
information Kareem gives people. Y'all can look at me and say
Yeah,
no.
I would
Yeah, you
only
can.
I mean only what Agatha has said.
Right.
Miss Celeste, quick question for you. Your friend Kobold Jones here. He said he's got a hammer and he's plenty ready to whack things with it. What do you bring with yourself into the field of battle?
Well, Jonesy prefers a hammer, but I personally prefer a greatsword. It's my weapon of choice, but I mean, And you? What's your weapon of choice? Ah. One of them, Jonesy.
You have 10 of them?
I only need one of them.
Good lord.
You're probably also
The
only have
stinky
8.
finger.
Yeah.
Is that goblin racial? Did we only get like 3?
It's generally how they're depicted in art.
Okay.
I don't think it's like a 100% thing though.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, 5th edition's super weird because it's like sometimes they have 3 or 4, and then other times they have like a regular 5 hand, and you're like, who's that goblin? Some of them have like pointy toes, but then other ones have like regular 5 toes. It's just like, there's no consistency for goblins. There's no love. No goblin love. That's on Twitter. But all right. So yeah, you guys.
Is 2 6 fingers? Got it.
You guys come to meet your new associates, come to terms and agree with a 6-way split, and have now what is considered to be kind of a refocus for what your goals and ambitions might be moving forward. Is there anything that you guys want to do before we call it here and we meet next Monday?
Yes. There is something.
Uh-oh.
Pull that dagger.
The Velithil, I need
yes.
some help explaining this.
Oh,
Miss Agatha said that we could transport from here to Fort Vale real quick. And I mapped it out, and it should have been like 3 days, even if there's some sort of secret magic tunnel from here to there, and we get on them like flying horses.
Do you remember how we got back to Deerwood from Iskander?
Ever so slightly.
Yes, well,
Kind of-
this
kind of
time it
like-
probably won't involve a whorehouse. But there are likely teleportation runes and sigils carved into the walls here that will allow us immediate transportation.
Right. So just like walking through a door, but with the upset stomach sort of thing. Got it.
Or standing on a circle. It depends on where they carved it.
I'll just follow your lead.
Oh, okay, good. I do have one other question. Mr. Cobalt Jones and Miss Celeste, you seem very familiar with each other. How long have you been working together?
Yeah, it's been like 20 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
It's impressive. Suppose you're quite apt together on the battlefield then.
Yeah, probably.
He's being modest. Yep.
And you're the superior officer in this arrangement, Celeste?
We're
He
more
refer-
like,
He referred to you as such.
right. You know how you have a left hand and a right hand?
No, I have a left hand.
You look, and Velithil has a missing arm and an orb where an arm should be.
Before you lost that hand, you know how you have a left hand and a right hand?
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's us. Yeah. We go hand in hand.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Good lord.
Oh, that was the best example that could have happened right there. I think we're good, right?
Think you're good? All right. Fair enough then. With that, we thank everybody for coming in, hanging out, having fun for tonight. That'll be it for us tonight on Second Wake. So we're gonna do what we always do, which is always be rating. I found a cool little thing that just does like random people. So this is an artist who is a VTuber, I think. They're drawing their commissions for Drakengard 3, which is cool. They have a little flower in their eye, which is why it was like, oh, that's neat. So we'll be rating them. As always, give them a big shout out, smile, etc. If you're a subscriber to the channel, make sure we point them out. But we'll see you guys next time. on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next episode of D&D Second Wake. We'll be back later this week for more gaming stuff, but we'll see what happens with Kobold Jones and Celeste joining the Seekers of Galanti. Until next time, guys. Peace out.